The Horrible Gamers podcast may contain content not suitable for all ages. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to the Horrible Gamers podcast, episode 339 on February 1st, 2021. What's happening, everybody? My name is Gunny Chief. I will be your host tonight. Jesus, I don't know where Jesus is. He can't make it this evening. But we do have the Mayo. What's going on over in Ohio on the East Coast, Mayo?
Hey, Gunny, what's up, man? It's currently snowing at about 20 degrees here right now, so
Ooh, man,
all sorts of fun. No corn harvesting going on right now, I don't think.
Everybody's just hunkering down and got their fireplaces going.
Yep, building our igloos and hiding away.
Everybody drinking your hot chocolate, your hot toddies.
How has your hot chocolate experience has been? Have you had any more of that Jesus had recommended?
I had one recently, actually. And so you know what I did? I took, because you take basically like the entire square of it. It's not a whole lot, but it looks like it is. And I put it through the strainer because I don't like, it has like this graininess to it. Mm-hmm. The abuelita, if I'm saying that correctly. And yeah, just so it took that texture out of like the grain that's in there. Maybe that's what you're supposed to do anyway, because I don't like how that just kind of sits at the bottom of the hot chocolate.
Ketchup.
Yeah, but it's a little, the way I like to make it is, I'm a little weird. Maybe other people do the same thing. I could just be a psychopath here, but I'll do almost like a half milk, half water thing. So it's got some cream in it. I'm just not a big milk cream guy. You know, like if I get coffee, I get coffee. Give me some sugar in that. But yeah, not a whole lot of cream.
That is different. I've not heard of half milk and half water before.
Yeah, I'm just not a full on like cream and all that. Anyway, it's been more like the beer and water thing, for me lately, because it doesn't get that cold where I live out in California. It's probably 56, maybe 60 degrees, which is nothing, right? I'm going out with, just in a tank top and some shorts.
Right.
It's been lovely out here. Yeah. No, it's been cold enough to put a jacket on for sure. We've gotten little bits of rain. But yeah, Jesus, like I said, Jesus couldn't make it tonight. But everyone, go on over to the Twitter @_horrible gamers. You can go follow us on over there. And also leave us a review on the iTunes store. That's the Apple, the best store out there, guys. And over on Facebook, we do have a group, the Horrible Gamers Podcast Community. So if you go over to Facebook, search for that over there. And so we have a couple questions on there. They're easy. Just answer those and we'll let you in the group. So we'll be glad to have you over on Facebook. Also, Patreon. We do have a Patreon. So if you go to patreon.com, you can go on over there and you can leave us some Patreon monies like we do. And I'll just pull up that list here.
All the monies over patreon.com/horrible gamers, just as a heads up.
That's right.
That is in the show notes too. So
let's see. What do we have here, man? We've got, just to scroll back here. Oh, I've got a list. I want to thank Jason Sams, Robert Noble, Sean Pacharek, Chad, Brandon Willer, Federholic, Jake Fossen, or is it Commandalorian, Henley M, Jesse Kraft, Steve Willer, Robbie Wheat, Adam Sunday, John Jerome, Evan Tanaka, Jonathan Big D Hall, And still the biggest D, Gardner, the second.
I think cut off on your list there too is Michael Sitch got cut off on there.
Oh, it's not on here.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He might have got cut off when I sent it over to you.
You left Leahy out. Damn it.
Can't leave the Leahy out.
All right. Thank you guys for that Patreon. We really appreciate it over here. And we have a store, guys. If you guys like merch, going over to Stitcher. Oh, I'm sorry. That would be Redbubble. I'm just going to go ahead here, Mayo. Go on over to Redbubble if you like merch. We have hats. I know we've got mugs and other things over there. We've got clocks with our faces on them.
I still need to get myself a clock, actually. I only have like one in my apartment. It's just a digital clock, so I need a good old-fashioned analog clock to put on my wall. So what better than have a
I've
portable
said the
gamer
same
phone?
thing. Said the same thing to my wife. I'm like, we need a clock on the wall. She's like, oh, you're just too old. Who uses that anymore these days? Everybody has watches and smartphones. Or like I'll have my my Fitbit, so I can always tell the time. Always a wrist watch. But yeah, it would be nice to have that on there. So yeah, go on over to Redbubble, get yourself a wall clock. Probably takes a couple AA batteries or AAAs.
Yeah, probably just one. Probably, if I had to guess. Most of those clocks like that are the same. They're like one AA. It'll probably go forever.
And we do have a Stitcher. So if you are listening to us on Stitcher, it doesn't matter. You can go over to Stitcher.com and get a free month of premium. So I believe that is Horrible Gamers or Horrible Gamers Podcast in all caps.
It's Horrible Gamers all caps.
There you go.
No space.
So apply that coupon, get a free month of Stitcher Premium ad-free listening.
Yeah.
And who is our intro song going to be done by, Mayo? Is that Fowler and Twist X?
Probably, yeah. We'll probably go old school again like we did last week. Probably do the original intro and the original outro this week. So
Awesome.
Go back to our roots a little bit.
There you go. We did have a request for that. So we'll be reading that a little bit later on. And if Ricky's on there at all, thank you, Ricky Alfares. We appreciate it. Appreciate your music and MechMod and everybody else. We'd like to mix it up a little bit, but we do appreciate everyone that comes to the community and contributes and all that stuff. But I guess we can move on now to what we've been playing. Wow, Mail, but that was certainly a long, really good podcast from last week. I just wanted to shout that out.
It was.
Covered
I actually went through and I edited it a little bit, and so I listened to it a couple times in the editing, and then bits and pieces, and then when it was all done, I downloaded it, and it took forever to download on my phone. Like, it just, you and I were talking, like, it's going really, really slow. I think we broke Podbean.
I think so, because I think I was sitting here and I was talking to, I think it was Darren Hilton, shout out to him, maybe at the same time, and he goes, really a 6 or 7 hour podcast? And I was like, oh, is it coming out now? And I looked at my phone and it was saying like waiting to download. And it was like, I was like, uh-oh, what happened? Is this normal? And then it made it to like 7% and then it crashed. But then it finally, I think it was trying to do the automatic downloads for everybody that listens, everybody that's subscribed, which is free, by the way.
Yeah, I was worried that I messed something up at first because I don't do it as often. And I'm like, I'm double checking things. I'm logging back in to make sure I uploaded it correctly. And I'm like, okay, everything looks like it's right. But I double check with Jesus. I'm like, dude, did I mess something up? Am I not seeing something here? And he's like, no, you did it right. And he goes, it's just Podbean, like they were having a hard time with it. So they just probably weren't used to such a big file. Yeah,
that was huge. So that was a good show. Glad we can do that. So, but wanted to ask you, Mail, what have you been playing this week? Anything good? Anything new?
Well, not necessarily new, but there is some new content. I got to play some Dead Cells DLC. I've been waiting for this for a minute. They announced it at the beginning of the month, I think. And I'm trying to remember the name of it now. I'll actually pull it up here real quick while I'm talking. But this game is quite a bit of fun. It, I love my Dead Cells. I think I now officially have 250 hours.
Wow.
Yeah,
I know. I have it too, by the way. Ryan bought it on Xbox.
Nice. So the DLC is called Fatal Falls, and it adds basically after you defeat the first boss, you can actually go to this new level, and it's got 2 levels. And the first level is this big open, it's a platform game, but it's one of those platform levels where you can fall and die really easy. So it's like platform, big space, platform, big space. You're jumping from platform to platform. And then there's, they incorporated some traps in there, which is kind of new. Like they've had traps before, like they had little spinning ball and chains and stuff like that. You just matter of timing. But these traps are actually designed to take you by surprise. There's actually a pressure plate on the ground and you can see it, but a lot of times you're not paying attention. You're like too busy focusing on other things. And when
especially
you step
when
on
you're
it,
jumping back and forth. Right?
Yeah, this log swings down on a chain and hit you and it'll knock you across the map. Like, so it does a good amount of damage and stuff. So it's caught me a couple of times because I'm not used to that. And the game also has like this little rain effect going along in the background. So, you're in the sky in this floating level, rain in the background, it's new enemies. So I'm like trying to fight these new enemies, learn their patterns. And so, good old DLC is just, new enemies, some new weapons, a new boss, a new path to take to get to the end of the game. And so I played it on 0 BC, which is basically just normal mode, and ran through it the first time. And basically beat the first, the boss going through it, and unlocked 1 new skin and 1 new weapon. And then you didn't get to use this skin right away because the way the game works, once you get the blueprint, you finish the level, it becomes available and you put your cells into it to make it unlock. What happens is that on the second level, it's on the first level. When you get to the very end of it, there's a door that's blocked and you got to have a special skin on to get into this door, which you can't get the first time you run through it. So you actually have to like continue on the game this different path and beat the game and get back or die, get back to the beginning of the game, unlock that skin, use that skin and play and get to that same exact point again, and then use that new skin to get in there. So basically it's like this robed skin, which is completely unique to Dead Cells. There's never been a skin like this before. It kind of covers your head and you got like an old monk look to you. So it completely looks different for your character. And these 2 stone statues kind of move and it opens a door and lets you in. And then you get a whole new level. And then that level is a downward climb, which is kind of neat. Like it's basically like you're going down the side of a mountain. And so typically, stuff is kind of, straight side to side, jumping from platform to platform like the last mission. But this one is literally just like a downward, like 45-degree angle decline. And then sometimes you kind of go into the mountain a little bit and you kind of come down and then you kind of do more decline. And it's a really, really long level. Like I had only a couple exits, and not a couple exits, but like a couple like teleports, that little portal that you can go to and warp yourself around.
I was going to ask about that, how they implemented that into this level.
And so, yeah, there's just a couple. There's like one at the top and like one like in the middle, maybe one at the end. And I found a couple of the secrets already with a little bit of help from just online, though. I looked up because they have 2 hidden unique weapons they're a special puzzle to figure out. And in the first mission, the first level you get where you're going from side to side with the platforms, you have to jump across the big open spaces. And the rain in the background, it actually gives away, I know this may be a little bit of a spoiler for some people if they don't want to figure it out themselves, but they can just kind of skip ahead. But basically, this rain is falling in the background and it hits the platforms and it makes a little like splash mark. There's actually a spot randomly generated on the map that's going to be, the platforms are invisible, but you can see the little raindrops hitting it in the sky. So you can tell that there's a platform there. And you have to like blindly jump out there and land on these platforms. And you have to go to like maybe like 7 or 8 platforms and it reveals a hidden area. And in that hidden area, there's another boss you get to fight. And that boss will have a weapon for you. And this weapon is kind of cool. So I unlocked this weapon. It's a talking sword that floats around behind you. And it's a regular sword like you would carry in your normal abilities, but this one's actually under your trigger ability instead of your regular attack. And it'll float around behind you and it like keeps talking. It's like, we're such a great team and let's kill them and all this stuff. But when you hit the one trigger again, instead of it floating around behind you and it randomly attacks people for you, it's on a timer. And when you hit the trigger again, it actually goes to your hand and you're using it. And then the timer stops. So then the whole time you're holding the sword, you can use it to do damage. And then if you get an area where there's a bunch of enemies, you can let go of it again, and it'll fly around and it'll start attacking enemies for you, and you go back to your regular sword that you had. And then the timer will start counting down. And once it hits 0, the sword disappears, and you have to wait for the actual cooldown to reset to use it again. So you can kind of time like how much you use it. So like when you're in an area with no enemies, you can actually hold on to the sword and save that, say you got 30 seconds left or 10 seconds left until you get to an area that has enemies, or you got just one enemy, you don't want to waste it on him. You can just kill him with the weapon in your hand. You come to an area that has like 5 or 6 enemies, you can literally just, let go of it again, and he'll go attack some enemies for you while you're actually, attacking other enemies and stuff. So it's kind of a neat concept how they did that. It doesn't do a lot of damage when it's in your hand, though. That's the thing I noticed. Like the weapons I usually have in my hand do way more damage than when you grab it and you use it. I wish it would somewhat be a little more close, because I was like having to hit and finally to kill the guy, where sometimes it's like 1 or 2 hits you can kill a guy. And then
That's cool.
A couple of the other weapons I unlocked was like when you beat the first boss, the boss they introduced to you is called the Scarecrow. And he has basically like these 2, what's like the Grim Reaper weapon?
Sickle or the...
Yeah, like 2 sickles. And they basically fly around you.
Gaff or... I forgot the name of that.
Again, they're on a timer. They kind of spin around in whatever direction. And they'll damage things around. I don't really care for that. It's not too bad, but I definitely like the talking sword a lot better. And then they introduced a couple other weapons. There's these snake fangs that you have now that will teleport you to the enemy. And it'll teleport you right in front of them. And when you strike them, it poisons them. But then now you can stack your poison. So it has little indicators above them. For every time you hit them, it adds another poison dot to them. And it will go up to 5. And after 5, you start doing crit hits with it. And that's kind of a different mechanic in the game, too, that they add. So a couple of new things are added. And it looks like they're continuing to grow in this game. The DLC you do have to buy. It is $5, and they don't charge for DLC very often, so I have no problem paying $5 for this. And getting, I think it's maybe a total of 7 weapons, 2 levels, and a boss is what you end up getting
worth
with
it.
that $5, and a bunch of skins. You'll get 2 or 3 skins, I think. So yeah, good time, good content. I've been enjoying that. So I did go back through and play it in 1BC, which is like the next hardest difficulty, and got through that one, and then I'll up to 2BC on it. So I'm going to try and beat it with 2BC, go on that path. It's just way more difficult, and new enemies and harder enemies, and that game is just so hard on 2BC for me. I don't know why I'm still stuck on it. Like I feel like I should be past it by now.
Oh, I thought you were trying to go for 3BC.
I'm trying to get to 3BC.
Trying to get to 3BC. Okay.
And it goes up to 5. So it's crazy because like I feel like I'm pretty good at this game, and like some people watch me stream it. Some friends of mine, like one of my coworkers, just started playing it, and so I played it on normal 0BC, and he's like, you just make it look so easy. I'm like, this game is so easy for me on 0BC, 1BC, and as soon as I get to 2BC, that curve is just real steep. It all suddenly starts adding new enemies. It starts adding different things, and the amount of damage they do when you do get hit is just crazy, and you don't get health in between your rounds, and it just makes it that much more difficult. And I heard the curve between 2 and 3 is really steep as well. So I don't know, we'll see, but I'm still determined. What was that? Yeah,
you're probably getting into some like some real Dark Souls stuff at that point,
Yeah, it's getting just difficult, and like I'm getting there. Like I was figuring it out before the update, and I was getting to the last boss pretty regularly now in 2BC, and you got to kind of get used to the enemy timings, like what enemies you're facing and what levels and which way you like to go and stuff like that. And I had it down pat because I've been playing it again a lot more recently, and even before the DLC came out. And when the DLC came out, they changed all the order of all the enemies on 2BC. So now the first level has different enemies in it again. Now just getting used to the last mode, and they actually reverted back to a couple of older enemies that were more simple to kill. But it just kind of throws you off just a little bit. So now like I have to deal with a couple of different guys, and you have to deal with the little shield guys. Remember those guys? The guy with the purple guys with the shield? On 2BC, they're not in the first level. And they have the guys that shoot through walls, and a couple like real tanky, like they call them oven knights. They're this big fat knight guy that takes forever to kill. Those guys are regular enemies on the first level, and they took them away, and now they had the invisible ninja thing came back, which is like it's an invisible guy who walks back and forth, and when he sees you, he appears and he throws 3 little poison darts at you. You have to roll through, but again, they catch you off guard because sometimes you don't see him and you drop to a ledge thinking you're going to attack one enemy, and then one of those guys are down there. Next thing you know, you're trying to dodge 2 attacks at once, and you end up rolling into one of them, and so it's just a different play style in a way when they change it up like that. So it really kind of changes the way you do it. But I'm really enjoying it. I just love my Dead Cells. That game is so much fun. You know, the music is good. They do offer some new music too. You can buy the soundtrack. It's like a combo pack. You can buy the game and the soundtrack, or just the soundtrack. But
yeah,
do you buy soundtrack stuff very often? I do not.
I don't. You know why? Because for me, anytime, like I'll see anything like on Steam which is where mostly a lot of times I'll see something where they offer a soundtrack where I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go listen to my Spotify I paid $10 a month for, you know, while playing the game.
Right. And so that's what I've done a couple times with a couple soundtracks that I've liked. I've just used Spotify and let's see if somebody had made one, or
that's the other thing too. That's another thing too. You can just go listen to that soundtrack for free on Spotify.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's just there. Like I'm sure if you go to Spotify right now and go to the Dead Cells soundtrack, it's there.
Yeah. And to me, it's not really a big deal whether it's free or not. I like to have it on the go, where Spotify is on my phone and on the go. If I buy the DLC on Steam, it's pretty much tied to my computer. And then, you know, if I at my computer, yeah, and I'm not gaming, I could listen to it, but that's not very often. Most of the time I'm just at my PC gaming. You know, sometimes I'm here paying bills or whatever, but if I'm usually at my computer, it's something I got to have audio for, so I'm not going to be listening to music anyways. So if it's a game, you know, I'm going to be listening to the game. You know, if it's...
I'm a little different where I will listen to music on the go, but I'll also sit here at my desktop and I have my Spotify app and I'll just play that. Not every single time. Depends on what game it is.
Yeah, and a game like Dead Cells, I will change up my audio. I will listen to Spotify, so, you know, I've heard the original soundtrack so often it's kind of old to me anymore. So I'll load up some kind of techno type stuff or something like that, something with a rhythm to listen to while I'm playing it.
Yeah.
But
get it in sync, man. Get it down for sure.
So, but it's nice having the new stuff. So I do listen to it again. You know, I'm listening to the regular soundtrack, playing through the game audio and enjoying that.
Yeah, I think I must have been watching, not a new streamer, but somebody new who was playing Dead Cells or somebody not familiar, and they just kept going off the ledge every time. It was painful to watch, you know. It was like, oh my gosh, you know.
Yeah, but yeah, it's fun. I still enjoy the game so much. It's crazy to me, you know. They just keep doing these updates, and they've been supporting this game for a while, and it seems like every time they do get an update out there, everybody seems to be excited, and they're, you know, there's some people in our community that were excited for it. Some of my coworkers are all for it, and even they, you know, like the one that just picked it up at my work, he's the one that got me started playing again. You know, he's like, oh, I picked up Dead Cells the other day. You know, you talked about it for a while. He goes, that game is so good, you know, and next thing you know, I'm talking about it with them, and I'm like, hey, I'll do a run for you, and I'll show you kind of like what you got to kind of do, and show you how to beat it. And so that I stream it for them, and then next thing I know, I'm like, I'm gonna play another one. I'm gonna beat 2BC. I'm gonna do this, and then I'll put like 3 hours into it trying to beat 2BC, and I don't.
I think on my account, I think I went through BC1, but I think Kyle finished it, BC1 only, and then I think he either bought it or I bought it for him for his Steam account.
Mm-hmm.
So like I just keep going back to BC1 or 1BC every time. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have this game everywhere. Like I have it on the on the Xbox. It's on Game Pass, so you can play it on there. And then I bought it on the Switch, and like I said before, I beat it the very first time I went through it. I didn't lock any weapons or nothing, so I left it a perfect 1-for-1. And I'm not ever gonna play it again on there. I'm like, I refuse. I don't want to taint it. You know.
Right.
So, but yeah, Dead Cells. That's some good stuff. I just I easily can see myself putting another 100 hours into this game, easily. Because as they keep adding DLC and keep adding things in. And the goal for me, actually, because 5BC actually has a whole new end game. Like it has a whole new boss at the end. It has a whole new level, has whole new enemies. It's all stuff that I have never seen, and I want to get to it. You know, so I'm gonna keep at it. And I think some of the trick is you have to run a custom mode. So you can unlock custom mode and it can change like what weapons drop. Like you can make it so only one weapon drops throughout the whole entire game instead of that randomization. And you can kind of set up a specific build. But when you mess with the custom mode too much, it'll actually take away your achievements. So you got to almost beat it without custom mode the first time to get your achievements. Mm-hmm. And then you can start running custom mode, you know, to get some of the stuff out of it. But yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
Besides that, all that talk last week in the Game of the Year show, it made me want to play Cyberpunk again. And
I've also been playing that, trying to.
I jumped back in it, and for some reason, Gunny, I decided to start back over. I'm like, I just feel like I want to start over for some reason. And I had a female V character, and I was just, I don't know, something led me to want to experience the beginning again. And I think what it was kind of setting up my character this time, knowing how the point system worked and have a better understanding how the game was going to go going into it. I feel like I'm better prepared going through it, and like I understood things way better coming through. And I'm pretty much to the same point where I was at last time, which isn't super deep in the game. But, you know, I'm to the point, you go again, spoilers, where Jackie is gone and all that stuff. So, you know, I'm working with Pan Am and Judy and all them. And so I'm back to that point again. So I'm about where I was at before. And I did it basically like maybe a couple hours of playing time compared to maybe 7 hours last time, because I was going through and reading everything and trying to figure it out and figuring out the menu systems and you know, like picking everything up. I remember going through the first time, I was picking everything up on the ground. You know, cans of meat and junk and records and cards. Yeah. And next thing I know, I'm encumbered and I'm moving slow and I'm getting rid of stuff. And now it's just like, I'm grabbing the gun still. And I still question that. I'm like, do I need to grab every gun? Because every guy I kill, I grab them. But then I'm pistol, like, right? Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, they're still downgrades. So I'm most likely not going to use them, but you can always, I think you can break them down or sell them. I usually just sell them for the eddies, you know. But
yeah, that's because the part where I'm at right now is I'm still way early on. Is like I'm looking for Evelyn Parker, you know. Like yes. Is that me and Judy? Is that her name? Is that who I'm with right now? I forgot her name, but yeah, I think it's Judy, right? That's who I'm with, and we're trying to find Evelyn.
Yeah, so Evelyn's at basically she's at a strip club that you go to and stuff.
Yeah, well, you go there, she's not there, and then you go to like 4 other places, and you know, it's kind of funny because we go, it's weird, like we go to this one guy, and I think is he a fixer or something like that, and he's like this like super skinny looking guy that's like, oh yeah, man, I don't know where she's at, but you know, like I hooked her up with these 2 other guys. So it's just like this, you know, cat and mouse game or just, you know, like, will I ever get, you know, what it's going to take to actually get to find her? But, you know, that's the mystery, right? Or what I need to find out. And it's like, and then it just like some of the directions it takes, like he goes, or you come out and you're like telling Judy like, hey, let's go. I'm going to go down to like Jig Street or something. It had this funny name to it. There's some really, you know, there's some like pornography or whatever, like, you know, the brain dance stuff going on as well. That's like, yeah, you go into the store and it's got all the adult toys in there and stuff. It's like, wait, why am I hearing, like, is this where I really need to be? Like, I guess they're going to have information. Then he's like, yeah, go see this other guy. He's kind of hanging out under the bridge, you know, or something. And you go down there and he has a weird conversation with another guy. It's just a weird game, right? That's how it's pretty dark.
So I did notice myself, now that I'm going through a second playthrough of the beginning over, knowing what to expect a little more. And I find myself noticing the little side quest options, and I've done more of those. Not like a side quest, but an optional part of a mission. And I've done those. The last one I did was, that just kind of jumps out, was when you get the flathead, you're actually going to pick up the flathead as a street character. So as a street kid, you're supposed to go meet this gang, and the one guy that was leading the gang basically was overthrown by another guy, And so you have to meet with that guy, and he wants paid again, even though the original leader was paid. And so you got to work out a deal with him, and you end up turning to a big shootout. On the way out the door, you actually can find the original gang leader, and he's locked up in a thing, and you have to figure out how to get him out. There's like a little side puzzle. And so you have to basically use your tech to hack the door, get it to open this cage, and then he has like this mine with like a laser on him, and if he moves, it'll explode, and you have to disarm it with your hacking ability. And you free him, and so I did that little side thing, and so now I don't know if it will change a dialogue option later on down the road in the game, but he was basically saying to me that he was grateful and this and that, and if I ever needed his help, that he would be there for me and a kind of thing, and we would meet up down the road. So, and before
Nice.
I never did that, I just went out of the building and just kept on going. So
That probably upped your street cred, I'm sure.
yeah, so stuff like that's probably going to help the playthrough too. And it just, I don't know, it's just given me that much more enjoyment in the game. I still really like this game. I like the art style, the graphics, and just the way it feels. And it's just such a good game. I know it was my number 2 game for the year, and it just, I don't know, I'm enjoying the playthrough again and all that. But besides, Cyberpunk, I was going to play the one night, and a couple of my friends from, one of my work friends, Snickersnee, and my buddy from Michigan, Cadillacs, they jumped on and wanted to play some Star Wars Battlefront 2. And so we jumped on some Star Wars Battlefront 2, played that for probably about an hour. And I actually had to step away. I had my one son was staying with me, and he needed some stuff before the end of the night, some drinks and just different stuff because he was spending the night and the place was getting ready to close. So I let my boy jump on. He played with him. And I went and got him drinks. I come back, and they're playing Apex together. So then we jump in. I jump in because my boy leaves, and now I'm playing Apex with Snickersnee and Cadillacs. And we played Apex for probably a couple hours. I think we had like 1 or 2 maybe second place finishes. We played some, and yeah, they pretty much just carried me most of the way through because I'm bad at Apex, and Caddy, he's fun to play with. We talk a lot of crap to each other on there, so it's a lot of banter between the three of us. And Caddy and I had, neither one of us have played for a while. Snickersnee has, but so Caddy and I jump in, and I'll ask a question like, "Hey, what's this? This is completely new." And Snickersnee would tell me, and then 5 minutes later, Cadillacs is like, "Hey, what's this thing?" And Snickersnee would be like, "I already told you,"
Yeah.
And then like a little bit later, the same thing happens again, and we're just kind of laughing over that. But yeah, we had a couple of like second place runs. Sometimes we would drop hot and die really, really fast, But that game was at the end. I think it was season 7. There was like 2 days left to go, so maybe they're getting ready to start season 8 now. By the time we were doing this recording. They had 2 new characters I know nothing about. I couldn't even tell you what their names were. Like, I just skipped over them because I haven't played it in so long. I was like, okay, I'm just going to use a character I know and go from there because, I didn't know how long we were going to be playing and stuff like that. But it kind of wanted me to get back into it a little bit. So definitely.
That's a game I haven't played in quite a while, actually.
Yeah, I think the last time I played it was when they introduced, it was like Revenant, that guy that kind of looks like he's dead, kind of the ghost type guy.
Yeah.
That was like the last time I had played, so it's probably been 2 seasons ago, maybe.
Same for me.
So that was a nice, fresh, break from some of the normal gaming that I've done. And then I'm trying to think. That might be about it. I did download a couple games on the Xbox. I was gonna fire up
The Medium.
Gunny, I cannot play the Medium on my Xbox.
Why?
I was a little lost. I couldn't figure this out. I'm like, why isn't it? It's a Game Pass game. Why isn't it showing up on Game Pass? And then I didn't see it on my Game Pass. And then so I was like, okay, maybe it's just not out yet. And then I heard Bill Gardner II, the biggest D over there, talking about how he played it, and Imes had played it, and a couple other people played it. I'm like, I'm positive this game is on Game Pass. And so then I go to my Game Pass again, and I look on the Xbox, and it's not on there.
What?
Okay. I'm like, what? I'm confused. What, do I need to do an update? I'm like, everything's up to date. This is weird. Well, evidently, I started doing some research. It's only available on Game Pass through the Series X and the Series S. It actually doesn't even show up on my Game Pass.
Oh, okay. So it's not on the One X.
Yeah, so I have the One X and I don't have the Series X or the Series X.
Got it.
And it doesn't show up. It will show up on my PC, I found out. So I just haven't got on the PC version of Game Pass to play it on there. So that's where I'm going to have to play it. And so I'll probably download it tonight. But it sounds like it's kind of a short game. It sounds like people could play through it in one sit down. I'm not a big fan of the horror games like Resident Evil with jump scares and that kind of stuff, but we'll definitely give it a shot. I'm hearing some people say it was good. I'm hearing some people say it was bad. So we'll see. I mean, most of the people in our community say the game is really good. They really, really enjoyed it. So
yeah,
I'm leaning.
Yeah, I think
towards
I think the only the one review I watched was whatever I saw on YouTube, and it was 6.75 or whatever. I'm like, okay, good. That's not terrible. That's the way I always look at it.
Right.
Where I'm like, it's not a 3, right? Okay, then I'm gonna play it.
And I hear it's kind of like a Resident Evil kind of point and click kind of thing. Would that be? Have you played it?
No, I don't think it's point and click. I think from the video that I watched, it looked like it could have been third person.
Yeah, I heard it's like third person, but with not a lot of combat or something like that. There's like a Resident Evil without combat is what some people called it. So I don't know, but I'll check it out. I'll probably give it a run through and get the experience and see what it's like. And
yeah, it's on my download. It's already downloaded on my Series S.
Yeah, and then a couple other games I downloaded, but I have not gotten to play was Deliver Us the Moon. You talked about it so much last week, Gunny.
Yeah, great game.
I figured, you know what, I might as well play that on my One X on my OLED TV. You think
That's how I played it.
You think I should play it just in the 4K 60, or you think I should play it in the 1440 120?
I don't think it matters.
I mean, I feel like a game like that is probably just gonna be a better 4K 60 game.
Yeah, I'd say 4K 60. Go with that option.
So I got that installed. I also installed Wasteland 3. That was another one I think you talked about, Gunny.
Yeah, Wasteland 3.
And so I installed that one.
That's another good one. I got an update today, I saw.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much been my week. Besides that, my son, he's starting to get back into Valorant, so he's been staying here with me for the last week, so he's been taking up some of my PC time too, and I've been watching him play some Valorant, some Fortnite and stuff, and all that fun jazz. Watching him do his thing.
Good deal. Some Minecraft PvP stuff.
Yeah, just
right.
Yeah. Before I finish up, a quick, Gunny, on what I've been playing, I just want to throw out there that this coming Friday, I want to try to throw together a Jackbox night on Discord. So maybe some people listening, or whatever, will want to join in on that. You don't need anything, to play Jackbox. You basically just need a browser, so you can play on your tablet, PC, or even your phone. And basically what will happen is I own the game already, and I can stream it on a Discord channel, and everybody can watch it. So it's before we had the problem of trying to play it, and there's a little bit of a delay because of Twitch and stuff has a delay, and it made it hard because stuff is timed on your answers. This, I guess, if you stream on Discord, it would not have any kind of delay. It's a live, pretty much live feed.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
And so there won't be any delay. So everybody will be able to be in sync. And basically all it is you just open a browser on your tablet or, your computer and your phone, and you'll enter a 5-digit code, kind of like Among Us, and it'll get you in my lobby, and the game will launch, and you answer the stuff, and, the main game show aspect of it will be on the display on the Discord from me streaming, and then we'll be able to do that. And it has jokes and stuff like that where you can write your own jokes and a couple of different modes, and we'll see what we can get into. We can get in a group. I think it holds up by 8 people. So we'll see.
You can draw your own pictures as well on some of them. And
so that we're going to shoot again for Friday, February 5th at 7:00 Eastern Standard Time. So for you California West Coast people, I guess that's 4:00. So
yeah. So just keep in mind, for anybody joining, this is not really a family friendly game. They do make family friendly options, I think, but normally our lobbies or not.
And that's just going to depend on the community, who's playing and how they want to take the game, So we can go either way. So I'm not 100% sure how it's going to turn out in that aspect. So we'll see what kind of youngins we have in there, if we have any, they're a little younger at all. But if it's all older people, I can see it going adult really fast. So
yeah,
we'll see. But if you have any questions, you can hit me up on Discord or the Facebook. And I did put a post in both of them. I did make a Discord channel for community game night, so we're going to try and do something a little more often. Been talking to Leahy, trying to organize some things a little more often on Friday nights. It seems to be the night, like I know Jesus is available sometimes on Fridays. And that's the night I can kind of stay up. And I know maybe like Gunny, I know you have a long day on Fridays, but maybe you can stay.
Sometimes I hit the last half of it on Friday.
But yeah, so we're going to work on that and see between Leahy and myself and maybe a few others, maybe kind of having some more game nights and have some more, 7 Days to Die nights and some Jackbox nights and Among Us nights and some stuff that's easy to pick up for other people and get people involved. So
yeah, I think the other game that Ghost Nico had recommended, and I think it was only $13 on CD Keys, which is, I think it's a safe website. I just haven't bought it yet. But Conan Exiles.
Oh yeah, he loves that game.
Yeah, it reminds me, there is like similar things to like a 7 Days to Die type thing where you're building and crafting.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's zombies in the game. It looks like a lot of NPCs and probably some PvP stuff.
There's been some talk of some GTFO. I know Jesus has been playing some GTFO. I think Nico and somebody else were trying to get together. And like that game's a 4-player co-op, kind of like Left 4 Dead, but pretty, I don't want to say hardcore, but I know it's a little more difficult. Where you want to have an actual 4-man team, you kind of need to work together. But
yeah, and it looks like sometimes you got to really stay close because sometimes one person's going down, you got to be able to revive them.
Yeah,
get that extra gun in the fight.
I don't own that one yet. I'm not sure if I'll pick that one up or not. That's just not really much of a Mayo game for me, but I might just pick it up anyways just to play with the community. So we'll see. But that's it. That's it for me, Gunny. What about you?
But going back to Cyberpunk, but yeah, just trying to get more into it. It's one of those things where I think I just have to get used to. Really, it's the combat for me. I think, like when I came up to that door to meet that one of those fixer guys or whatever the hell he was even called, but more of a plastic surgeon is what I'm going to call him. Where it's like you meet the 3 guys and they're just like, yeah, you can't talk shit to us like that. How dare you talk to us like that? You take it back right now. And then, of course, you go into this combat and it's like, all right, like, I might be full health or something, but I need to all right, let me switch over to a gun, right? Then I'm like trying to down one and the other 2 are shooting at me at the same time.
Something that might help, and this took me a minute to figure out. Have you noticed you be in combat and next thing you know, you're kind of like taking damage and it'd be like this annoying little tick where you're on fire and they'll say you're like overheating and stuff like that?
Yeah, like that kind of happened in the beginning of the game. And that's another thing for me too. I got to get used to where I feel like my screen's being fucked with at the same time. Yeah. I'm like, what the hell? So I don't like that part. I don't like that's what I don't like. You
can do to fix that. So what you want to do, Gunny, is, and I had to look this thing up. I'm like, why do I keep overheating and what is this effect and why does it keep happening? What you want to do is, what's happening is there's a bad guy kind of hiding on the map somewhere, and he may not be necessarily like in that room. He could be like a room or 2 over or like upstairs, and you don't even, know he's up there or whatever. And they can hack you. So basically, your system can get hacked and they call you to overheat. And that's what it is. It says like you're overheating and you take a little bit of damage. It's not much. It's more annoying than anything. But there's actually a perk. If you go under, I think it's under intelligence and then I can't remember what the last, because there's like 2 tabs on top, but there's one. Basically, it'll show you where that guy is at. And it'll let you know where this guy is hacking you from. So basically, you turn that perk on. So when you start getting attacked by something like that, you can go single that guy out and take him out so that you don't have that annoying, overheating all the time and what's going on.
It's almost like I wouldn't say your whole screen flashes red, but it's like almost like a shock almost where you're like, what in the heck is that?
Yeah.
It's a glitch.
I did put points in that right away, and I can't remember exactly what it's under, but it's on the bottom, it's like the little triangle of abilities. It's in the bottom left, and that's the second tab. And
Okay.
there's an ability in there, and it'll expose basically somebody who's hacking you. And so it kind of highlights them in red a little bit, so you can kind of see like where they're at. I think they show up like on your radar, kind of like up on the top or something like that, where you can kind of hunt them down and kill them and get them out of the way, so you don't have that happen to you the whole time. Because yeah, that was super annoying and frustrating to me. And now that that's out of the way, the only thing I'm finding annoying is sometimes like gun wise, like if I feel like I want to switch guns, say like you run out of ammo or something like that, and you have a different gun in your inventory, it's kind of a pain. You gotta like kind of switch it out. You know, you gotta like go to your inventory and then select the gun and then, you know, drag it up to where, you know, it's like your first gun position is at, so it's your default gun and stuff like that. So I wish there was a more seamless way of switching through your ammo, or not your ammo, but your weapons that you picked up.
Well, and I think it's just a matter too of like, I've already got it to where, well, at least I know before any kind of combat, I've got my 3 slots unlocked, right? So I have a weapon in each of those, right? So for me using a controller, it's press Y. You know, it might go to katana sword or whatever, but then again, I can quickly cycle through that to the next, you know, if I was using a...
And I always I find like an upgraded gun on the ground from a bad guy, and I pick it up, but you know, it doesn't automatically equip it. It just goes in your inventory. So like, okay, this gun's an upgrade. I want to use it like right now.
Well, isn't it? I think a firefight.
So like it tells you it's an upgrade. You know,
well, no, I think it says Y or X or whatever. It kind of gives me the option, I think,
to equip it, or
I believe there.
Maybe I just clicked on it too fast. Yeah, I could just be missing it.
In the heat of the moment, you're just going to put it in your inventory, right? For sure.
And so maybe that's what it is. Maybe there's an option for me to just pick it up instead of stashing it away, you know. But
because I've done the same thing where I'm like, I meant to equip it, but no, I mean, it was just a matter of like, okay, I got to run around a corner, I got to get cover, right? Because I can't take on 3 enemies at once or 2 or whatever, you know, because I've got good enough armor that I think, and enemies can be a little bit bullet spongy, maybe because I'm early on in the game. I don't have the most powerful weapons. I got a couple mods. I figured that part out. You know, I keep my, you know, I want to, what are they called? The max Vox. It's just whatever the little health packs are, right? And I
like them little stem. It's I want to associate with like an inhaler kind of looking thing.
Yeah, like an inhaler, right? And I think it's like on the controller, it's up on the D-pad. And then I get confused between that and the Y button, which Y is like, that'll go to where your basically your inventory for your weapons. So I'm always doing that too. I'm like, okay, I need to switch weapons up on the D-pad. I'm like, that was the wrong choice. Like, I don't want to waste my stim packs, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm super enjoying the story. That's what's keeping me engaged in this.
Yeah, it's such a good game. I'm still enjoying it.
Yeah. But moving on to what did I tried out that Desperados 3. Is it number 3, Desperados?
Yeah, I also saw that on Game Pass.
Yeah. So I think I've been playing it on the Xbox or whatever. Normally me, man, I'll download it both on both PC and whatever. I want to experience that 1440p, 165 hertz if I can get it up that high. But I just went through the tutorial. And
is this game really similar to Wasteland 3?
I don't think so. I haven't heard of it being similar to that.
They kind of gave me the same vibe off the top of my head, you know, like just looking at them really. I haven't played either one of them, but like just kind of looking at them, they both have that top-down view, kind of almost gives me that XCOM feel. But it has, well, it's not turn-based combat. I think it's real time. So the enemies are constantly moving. So but there are strategies of like how you know, like there, and then there's this thing too where I think it's LB on the controller where you can kind of plan out almost a planned attack, and then you can, execute the plan or whatever. Like, hey, I'm going to throw a stone over here, come around the corner, shoot the guy, or whatever. Stuff like that. That's just what I've learned in the tutorial so far. But no, I don't think there's any kind of turn-based combat. Like that's pretty much what Wasteland 3 is. Gotcha.
Like an XCOM. But what else did I play? Lots of 7 Days to Die. I've been just like, I checked out the server today that Ghost Nico has, and I think it's like on day 18.
Mm-hmm.
I checked that just before we started the show. And yeah, it looks like some of the guys, man, they've really got, I don't think we're using mods as far as I know.
Yeah, no, I don't think they're using any kind of mods. I think the only thing they're doing is what Nico can do. So when you jump in, say, because time will keep going, right? And nobody else is online. Say you're the only one online.
Right.
You jump in there, and as time progresses, say you get to day, if you're on day 18 now, and you get to day 21, you're going to have a wave. You may not necessarily want to do that wave by yourself, right? So you can almost play up to day 21 and stop. And Nico can actually back up the time a day, a couple of days. So when you get into a party again, the whole party can kind of get prepared. And that also prevents, like, say, from when you jump in, say somebody went to day 21 and stopped, and you jumped in, it's going to be on day 21. You may not have been ready for that. You know, you're like, oh, crap, what is this? You know, there's like a zombie horde coming in. Last time I jumped in, it was all peaceful and quiet, you know, and you might not have been ready for that. And then you were by yourself or something like that. So the nice thing is Nico can actually kind of back things up. So, you know, if you just kind of let him know and say, hey, I played up to this day, you know, next time it jumps in, he can jump on, back up the time. And it doesn't erase any of your progress or nothing like that. Like, so the stuff you've done stays, but it just won't basically, it'll prevent you from having to fight a wave of zombies by yourself.
Yeah. And I think I only stayed for the 10 minutes, and that was just to check out the base, see what everybody's living quarter looks like, you know, how nice and tidy they've kept it, like you, Nico. And I think, is it Drax or Dax or whatever? Like he's really got his supplies and everything, and his crates all labeled up really nice. And the, you know, I'm over here with just my strong boxes just scattered all over the place.
Right.
It's like, but man, it's like, it's amazing. Like, how much time did I spend? Because it seemed like I just have not a lot of everything, but I've got like so many items, you know, it's just like crazy. Nothing like extremely useful besides like armor and stuff. Like I don't have bullets, but yeah, it was just amazing like how much stuff I have actually collected.
Yeah, you can collect so many things in that game. It's like you just pick up all this stuff and you don't know what it is. And then so like when I was playing, I was having to ask my son all the time, or Nico, or you know, Drax, and them like, what's this do? Is duct tape important, or is this, you know, car battery important, or what is it? You know, they're like, oh yeah, you need this to make that, and that to make this. And then later on, if you have this ability when you unlock it in your skill tree, you can make this and make that. And I'm like, okay, you know, so I find myself never wanting to throw anything away. I pretty much pick up everything.
Same with me.
And then you get to carrying too many items and you got to go back.
Right. You become overburdened, right? Like, some other, you know, survival games, but no, I have been, I do have 2 other saves going as well. And those are both modded. So all you do is just go in, you can just start a new game, whatever, single player, make it enable cheats, and then pretty much on the mouse and keyboard, it's just you. So I haven't messed with God mode at all, which is just where you can just fly around and be invincible. And I thought, oh, that would just be boring. So yeah, so it's just you on the thing, and it's just like pressing tab, but it'll just bring up every single item that you can use. So put on good armor, you know, get a good assault rifle, you know, a bunch of first aid kits. And I've just been going out and exploring, getting on what do you call it? Like a motorbike or something. And, you know, exploring, looking for a good place to make a base or something.
Gotcha.
But I've been enjoying that, doing that. I'm like, okay, I want to make a base somewhere, but something that's kind of almost already established. Maybe it already has a fence, and, you know, and just add to it. I've tried figuring out some of the ways electricity works. Mm-hmm. And I don't know exactly. I know the basic concepts of it, but I don't know, like, you know, do I need how many generators I need, or, you know, these battery things, and just stuff like that I'm learning.
Yeah, I recommend you learn how mines work. I remember the first time we played, I joined my son, and I think Drax was on, and Nico. That was the first night you had joined. And the very first time, you know, you came in on the 7th day, and we were at our fort. Somebody had taken mines and put them in front of our fort. Well, evidently they were too close, and when one of the zombies stepped on one, it blew up and blew a hole in the front of our fort, and then people were getting in, and we were like, trying to stop them and fight that flood off. But I would just kind of recommend like learning the radius of those things too, so if you want to put them around your fort or your base or whatever.
So I played with those on, I think it was my first save that I've been messing with, and it doesn't seem to blow anything up as far as like besides me and zombies. That's the only thing.
Yeah, this time
it's damaged nothing else for some reason, like no doors, no floors, anything.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember that well or not, because it was the first time you played it and you jumped in like right away. It was, oh my gosh, look at this, kind of thing. And next thing you know, it was blew up the front door, and we're like, oh no, and
maybe I didn't have the right mines or something, but I put down, they're like different, I don't know, but I wish I was able to pick them back up again. That would be cool.
We got some stranger joining us.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. What's up, Brian?
What's going on?
Oh, just talk about a little 7 Days to Die.
You guys been right into that game lately.
Man, yeah, that game's so good. I even downloaded it on the old Xbox to see how that runs on a Series S. Wish it was enhanced.
Is it on Game Pass?
No, it's funny. I bought that, I think, years ago.
Oh, so you bought it. Okay.
Yeah, it must have been back when I remember playing this, I think when Xbox One came out. Might be that, maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Well, no, I think it was a little after. It was a couple of years in, I think, to the Xbox coming in.
Yeah, I think early alpha and the game looked like crap, so I never touched it again.
Research I had done on that game, actually, I guess the Xbox and the PlayStation version is different than the PC version. So I guess the original makers, whatever, had a different company kind of take over the PlayStation and Xbox version. And so there's a little bit of difference between the two. And I guess the PC one had to continue to have some work done to it. So it's a little bit further ahead than the console versions. And they just haven't updated the console version yet. So we'll see if they update it or not. But it'd be nice if they had some crossplay. That's when I ran across this article, because they were talking about it like, I'm like, oh, it'd be awesome if we could have crossplay and get more people in the community on their Xboxes and stuff over here playing with us. But that wasn't the case.
There's so many games that could so use crossplay.
Oh, I know.
It's hard.
I don't understand why it's not a bigger thing yet.
I think it's hard with
onto online multiplayer. In order to keep a crowd going, needs crossplay. Like, it has to have it.
Yeah, well, so since that game is still like an alpha, I think that maybe when it comes to beta, then they can kind of, even then it's going to be a little hard. I think the game has to come to a full release. I'll give an example.
It's not full release yet?
No, it's still alpha. They still have it alpha on all platforms.
Alpha?
I know. It's been alpha. It is. It's been alpha for like 5 years.
It's not even a beta. That's like early access. Like, I don't know. That's weird.
Well, okay. That's what it says on the alpha. But you know how like even Fortnite said it's a freaking beta or whatever. But
well, Fortnite was a different story.
Yeah, they just kept changing that game. So
a couple weeks ago.
The Satisfactory. That's another good one. I own it on Epic. I bought it back on the sale prior to the holidays. Kyle bought it recently, I guess. I wasn't even home, and the wife said, "Yeah, you can go ahead and buy it." And I didn't even know he was going to buy it on there. But since we have two different versions, it's an alpha, and so we couldn't. I don't know. It's not compatible for us to play with each other. Which is weird.
That's weird.
But I mean, I wouldn't say that game's even like a co-op game, but it's possible. But yeah, another one, Ryan. I don't know if you've played this yet, or if you own it on Epic, which is now the name escapes me, which is damn. Totally forgot what I was going to say on the Epic Store. Something
I know you definitely have that one.
Super Meat Boy?
Yeah, great.
Super Meat Boy.
You know what? I did. I bought that because I was like, oh yeah, Super Meat Boy. I want to get the new one. That's going to be cool. And I bought it on the Epic Store, and I had to return it because it would not launch on my PC. Like, I couldn't figure it out, and I finally just gave up and said, just give me my money back. And it sucked too because I used a coupon to get it, and I didn't get the coupon back. But they gave me like the $7 I spent on the game. So whatever.
Yeah. So probably, obviously, wait. You know what? I think it's going to be a day one Game Pass game. That's my hunch. But man, either way, I'm almost done with World 1. Man, it's just like, it's hard as hell, but I'm just having a blast with it.
Yeah, you're liking it, eh?
Oh man, a lot. It's just, I
heard it was great. I heard really bad things about it, actually.
I don't know why. I just, maybe after I get to World 2, it's going to be something different. But
yeah. Then it starts to suck.
Yeah. But I like that ability where it's just, I'm using that left stick on the controller to just whack an enemy. Your big red hand comes out and bam, you're onto the next platform and you're pressing down on the left stick to get underneath the chainsaws and move to the next area. Yeah.
In a couple of weeks, Gunny's going to be back on the show. Be like, I fucking hate this game like Doom.
Yeah. I can't get past World 2-1. That's
the same color palette as Doom. I hate it.
Yeah.
I'm giving this game a pass for its extreme difficulty.
Really? You give Super Meat Boy Forever a pass, but you won't give Doom a pass?
No, fuck that game. The game looks great, though, guys. But, yeah.
So, real quick, while we got you on here, Gibbs, Gunny, I know he was kind of talking about what he's been playing, but I was talking earlier about what I've been playing, and I've been playing some Dead Cells DLC. Have you played that?
I bought it, but I haven't played it yet.
Okay.
I haven't played it yet. Yeah, I bought it. I saw it the other day on the Xbox store, and I was like, I had credit on my account, so I was like, I'll buy it. It's only $5 or whatever. So.
Just the one thing I'll spoil for you right off the rip is how to access.
No. Give me the tip. What's the tip? I know it's always like this.
How to get to it. It doesn't tell you where to get to it, right?
Yeah,
you got to figure out the path to get there. So all you got to do is beat the first boss, and they add another room that you can go.
Oh, there's a third room to go to?
Yeah, so basically if you fight the on Black Bridge, the boss that's on the bridge, after you beat him, it'll give you the option, or if you take the sewer route, you can go to him the new levels from there.
Okay, you can get through the sewer.
The first time you play the new DLC, there's gonna be I was telling it earlier in the show, it's basically like you're in the sky, and it's kind of platform to platform with some rain in the background. And when you get to the end of it, if you get to the far right, there's like these two guards kind of blocking a door, and you can't get into it. And that's the next level. You have to go back toward the middle, and there's a boss, and you're going to beat that boss, and it's going to drop a skin. It's like a hooded, like a monk outfit. Yeah. And you have to not go to that new level and continue on because there's another exit. And then when you die or beat the game, you go back to the beginning, you unlock that skin. It's only one cell to unlock, at least. That's the nice thing. And when you unlock that, you have to wear that skin back to that level again, to that door, and the guards will move and open up the second level. So then but you only have to do that one time. So like, you just have to wear that skin one time. So once you unlock it, you can go in there, you get to experience the second level, and then the new boss is on up of that level. But after that, you can wear whatever
new
skin.
Enemies and
yes, there are new enemies, a new boss and stuff. So there's, I think, maybe 3 or 4 new enemies you come across that I've come across so far, and now it could change on the higher BC levels because they changed it up.
Yeah. Should I drop down to 1 BC to try this?
I would have maybe do it on 0 BC, just normal to get through it. Yeah,
that's what I meant. Like, I think I only have 1 BC, so I might have 2. I can't remember. No, I think I only have 1.
Yeah, so I would drop back to normal so to guarantee you can get to it twice. To get the content. And it's going to drop a couple of new weapons for you. And I don't know, I haven't played it for a minute, and a coworker of mine picked it up, and I've been talking with him about it, so it made me want to play it again. And the last update I didn't really play. Evidently, it wasn't like really highly announced or something, because it wasn't paid. It wasn't paid DLC or anything. But they made some changes to the game. It was like a holiday update. They added a weapon or two, and they added some skins. They had a Santa Claus skin and a snowman skin. And,
nice.
And so like I was a snowman on the one level, and I was like breathing fire. It's kind of funny, like I had the one playing ability. But they added a new sword in there that's really nice, and it's like a katana. And it's basically it's a brutality sword, a straight brutality. And the crit is like when you hold down your attack, you do like a dash across the screen and you like slice everything in half in that pathway. And it'll crit all those enemies. It's really kind of a neat, fun little item. But and then the new DLC, there's a sword I was telling Gunny that you can pick it up, and it's a talking sword. It's in a hidden area.
I heard about that. I heard about that. Yeah.
You get to this hidden area, and you pick up a sword. I think it's 80 cells to unlock once you get the blueprint. And it basically talks to you, and it floats around behind you. And it's actually an ability. It's not an actual weapon you're carrying. So it's actually one of your triggers. And he flies around behind you, and he keeps talking, but he'll randomly attack stuff on screen. Yeah. And it has a timer. You know, like how everything kind of counts down, you know, like just use this time. So if you hit the trigger again, it will call it to your hand, and you can hold it, and it stops the timer. But it doesn't do as much damage. So you can use that sword as a regular sword for a little while. And then you hit the trigger again, and it flies out of your hand, and it starts flying around the map, attacking stuff randomly. And it's like talking. And it has like little words behind it and stuff. and stuff. And so,
that's cool.
And as the timer goes down, you can call it back to your hand, and it'll stop that timer. So like if you're in an area with a bunch of enemies, you can release it, and it'll attack enemies for you, like the little annoying bats and stuff like that. It kind of one-shots them, and it'll get those enemies out of the way. And then you can call it back if there's no enemies left. And that way it'll reserve some time the next time you come across a group of enemies. It's kind of a neat like addition to the playstyle.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of the weapons I've unlocked. So that's...
I can't wait to check it out.
Pretty neat. So I just can never talk about this game enough. I'm up to 250 hours.
I'm glad you brought it up, because I forgot. I bought it and completely forgot. Like, what? When did I say? Yesterday or the day before, Gunny, that I bought it?
I think it was a couple days ago.
Yeah, it was a couple days ago. I completely forgot about it. I want to check it out. So yeah, glad you reminded me.
I was sitting there day one, you know, when I knew it was coming out, and they didn't release it until like noon, you know, my time. And so I woke up early morning going, I can't wait to play. And it wasn't available. But like the developer was streaming it. And so I was watching one of these guys play, and I'm like, I want to play. And I kept waiting for it. And then I ended up didn't get on till like 1 or 2 o'clock. But then I jumped in, and then it was, you know, the confusion of how do I access it? Where is it at? You know, what path do I have to take? Is it late game? Is it early game? Is it, you know, where is this thing? And it's right after it. No matter what boss you beat, just beat one of the bosses at the beginning, and you'll have that option.
And then it's there. Yeah, that's cool. Sweet.
What have you been playing over there, Gibbs?
I've been playing a crap load of Immortals Fenyx Rising.
Nice.
I'm really enjoying that game. I know, like, you guys haven't seemed to it didn't catch on with you guys, but I'm loving that game a lot. It's a lot of fun. I mean, I have Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I have Cyberpunk, and I have all these other games that came out, but that's the one that hooked me. Like, I'm still playing Hades too, which I love Hades. I cannot get enough of that game. Like, I just keep going back. I finally finished my 10th completion.
Nice.
So I got like the whole story and the end sequence, but then there's a reason that you keep playing after that. I don't know if you finished it or not.
No, I have not finished it, actually.
And I don't know if it's just because I didn't get all the dialogue through the game, but there's still new dialogue even after I've finished the game and I'm playing through. Like, there's still new things the guys say to me and stuff. It's so insane.
Yeah, that is crazy to me.
By the way, I'm sorry, guys. I have to talk about this.
Well, I know where this is going.
I have to talk about this. Final Fantasy VII Remake wins Music of the Year. It's a disgrace to the HGP Music of the Year award. Hades should have won that.
Yeah.
Hades should have won that hands down. Hands down. That soundtrack is the bomb. I can sit and listen to that soundtrack without like nothing. Just listen to that soundtrack. I love it. It's so good.
Yeah, I can really compare. I can really compare the Final Fantasy one since I've never played it. You know, I mean, but the community was going for
music. It's just orchestrated music. Like, it's great. I'm not trying to say it's crap, that it's not good, or that it didn't deserve to be on the list. I get that, but for it to win.
Wow. Should have been Doom, guys.
Well, Doom would have been a contender, but it wasn't as good as Doom 16.
Yeah.
Like 2016, it wasn't as good of a soundtrack.
Yeah,
it was
we were
still
saying
good,
there.
But I mean,
I think Doom. The problem with Doom is I don't think Doom is universal for everybody. You know, like if you're not into that hard, like rockish kind of feel.
Yeah, I get that, and I am into that kind of stuff. So, like,
and so am I.
I understand it, but even like it's a game about hell, and it's like, what do you expect? You want it fucking to be like fairies and pop music,
right?
Like, it's
the orchestra from
Hey, what else
Final Fantasy. Some pop smoke.
That's kind of what I expect to hear when I'm playing a game like Doom. You know what I mean? Is that as Evan would say. That's what I expect from a game like that. So I don't know. That's just my take. Anyways, I had to get that off my chest because it really bugged me. I was screaming. I'm at work listening. I'm like, no, you did not do that. No.
Final Fantasy VII, the orchestra.
There were a lot of mistakes, but I'm glad you won the host of the year there, Mayo. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank
He
you.
was kind enough to let me host the show.
Everybody's won that now. Oh no, Eric did win it 1 year, right? Did Eric win it 1 year?
He might have. Have I ever won host of the year? I don't think so.
Like you did last year, Gunny.
I thought you did last year. Yeah.
Yeah, you won last year.
Cow.
So it went around the rounds because I won 1 year. Jesus won 1 year. So it's just going to go in a circle. Jesus will get next year. He'll be back next year. But yeah. Anyways. So what else have I been playing? I'm trying to think. Guys, I've been still playing the living crap out of this mobile game on my phone called Frag 2020.
Oh, you still playing that, huh?
I play that daily, Gunny. I always play that game. I love it. It's so good.
I watched you stream that. I watched other people stream that game because then I went and searched it out, and I was like, oh shit! Like, yeah, I wouldn't. You almost would never know.
It's a lot of characters, and once you get a groove on, like once you get like a group of characters that you can work really well with, it's just fucking so good. You just got to find the right combination of cards for your play style, and like the way the game works is you have like a set of 5 cards, so you pick the 5 different characters. Each card is a character, right? And you level those characters up as you play with them and gain experience and gold and blah, blah, blah. It's a mobile game, and there's microtransactions out the frickin' ass in this game. Like, it's bad for that. Like, you go into the store and it's like just loaded with stuff everywhere from like $6.99 to like $139.99. You know what I mean? Like crazy stuff. But it's every mobile game's like that. Anyways, so the base of the game is you get your 5 cards. Every character has different traits, different special abilities and stuff like that. And now there's these things called frag powers as well that you can get to give them extra powers on top. Anyways, that's even further beyond. So you got your 5 cards, and each one does different stuff. And throughout the match, you can pick one card, and that's what you're playing as. If you die, you can switch. You can switch at any time. You hit the mini map in the corner, and you can switch to whatever character you want. So you can kind of like use it to like be like, hey, I'll push this tank in, let him take some damage. Will I have a sniper down back picking off guys that are trying to take him out? You know what I mean? Like, there's all kinds of different strategies. That's kind of like my play style. I kind of sit back and play defense, and I send my attack cards forward. So there's bunkers that you got to kill. There'll be like these little targets. So you got to get through the characters into the bunker and then destroy the bunker. And there's 2 bunkers and then a tower. You destroy the 2 bunkers, you can get up to the tower, and then you destroy the tower, you win. So you want to be the first one to do that. You can win by kills, but it's really hard. You know what I mean? Like you have to be taking in a lot of guys and constantly. But I play the crap out of this game like daily. I'd love it for some other people to jump in and have some fun, but no one seems to want to. It's a mobile game. The reason I'm really enjoying this now is my new phone. Like I got a Samsung S21 Ultra, and it's got the 120 hertz refresh rate, and it's got a 1440 screen. And I'm loving the crap out of this phone.
I thought you would. Like I love mine. Like I said, I had the Ultra 20.
Yeah, you have the Note, right?
Yeah, it's a Note Ultra 20, and I love it. So.
And it's very the specs are very similar to this phone for that phone. I think. Do you have the 120 hertz on your phone?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, it does have that, right? Yeah. But you don't have 1440, or do you? Yeah,
it goes backwards. Yeah, so I have 1440 and 1080, so I could change the resolution if I want to go back to to save battery.
How's your battery life? with 120 hertz and 1440.
I don't really have too much of a problem. I'm not on my phone a ton.
Does yours have the adaptive refresh rate though?
Yes.
So it'll drop like depending on what you're doing, right?
Yeah, like if you're on, like say like on Google
like
and
if
I'm
on
searching,
Facebook, it'll drop to like 10 hertz, but when I go to scroll, it'll go back up to 120 hertz to give me the nice smooth. And so like if you're playing a game, it'll go into 120 hertz mode, but if you're like on a static screen, it'll drop down to try and save battery life.
That's probably the difference for me is like it'll go all day on a charge for me. The difference is probably I don't really
get through a day.
Play games on mine, so
that's the thing.
By the end of my day, I'll be at like 30 or 40%, and I get up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm up till like 10 or 11 at night. So it's a long day, and I'm still at like 30 or 40%. That's with a lot of Facebook scrolling.
If I didn't play games, the battery would probably last me like 2 days for sure. Like it's a 5,000 milliamp battery in my phone, and so it's.
I'm
decent.
Not sure on how the new ones are working on it. I know. Do you get a charger with yours? Did they give you a charger?
No.
Yeah, that I find that crazy that Apple and now Samsung is doing this.
You get a USB-C to USB-C cable. How stupid is that?
Yeah.
Like everybody has regular USB to USB-C, a million of them hanging around. Like I have a couple of USB-C ones, but most of them are USB-A to USB-C, right? Like
but that's my charger is USB-C to USB-C, but the plug it plugs into is USB-C for the wall outlet. Like they provide that.
That's what I mean.
So that's not a big deal.
You don't get that one anymore.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. I mean, I would probably
and they claim it's an environmental thing, but I think it's a money saving thing.
Yeah, and they don't charge any less on the phone. Apple's the same way. They're like, we'll charge more.
Right. I think that's
here's the good thing though. Samsung actually did something really cool where it's like if you pre-ordered the any of the series, if you pre-ordered the S21 or the S21 Plus, you got the Bud Live, the Samsung Galaxy Bud Live.
You get the Lives?
If you got the Ultra, you get the Pros.
Oh, okay.
So I got the Ultra, so I get a pair of the Pros, but it's been this big kerfuffle. It was that, and you get one of those stupid tags I'm going to put on my keychain, so if I lose my keys, I can find it, kind of thing. You know those Samsung tags, like a tile or whatever.
Yeah.
You have to do that stuff. So on top of that, I got like a discount to the store for like 60% off. So I bought the wireless charger. The dual wireless charger, which charges my phone and the buds. The other cool thing, I don't know if yours does this or not, Steve, but my phone can charge my buds.
Yes.
Wirelessly.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that's pretty cool. Like you can just drop the case on the back of my phone and it'll start charging. Yeah, those are the Live, right?
Yeah, these are the. I think they're the Lives. They were the top ones at the time,
they look like
last
potatoes.
year.
You gonna put those in your ear?
Oh, these things are amazing, Gunny. Like, so when you put these in your ear, they kind of sit down in, and like if you're working out or running or anything like that, they don't come loose. They stay so secure, and it's so nice. And then you can take calls.
I saw a dude doing the test with it, and he was like, okay, I'm gonna do it lightly, and he was like, okay, it didn't fall out. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna do it a little harder. And it still didn't fall out. And he's like, okay, I'm going to just give her. And he just gave her. He's like,
headbanging.
Dude. Like, they didn't even move. They're right in there.
Yeah.
It's like,
and they have good sound. And I like how they charge, or they connect automatically too. You just open the case and automatically my phone connects to it and tells me how charged my case is and how charged the headphones are.
Yeah. Do you use more than one device? Like, do you have a tablet or anything hooked up to it as well?
I don't typically, no. I do have like a Bluetooth radio,
but some issues if you have like two different things that you're trying to swap between and stuff like that. It can get confused.
I have had that happen, I guess, in my car. I had 1 or 2 times where I've actually worn down to my car, and when I start my car, it goes to my stereo and it connects to Bluetooth with my car stereo for phone calls and all that kind of stuff. And it automatically just connects to the car. Like, and I know you can do dual Bluetooth, like you can set it up to do both.
Have it to go to both, yeah.
But I haven't messed with that. Like I don't ever really do that very often, so it was never a big deal to me. So I'm like, all right.
The only reason I would want that is if there was someone else in my car and I was having a conversation that I didn't want them to hear. You know what I mean? Like
one-sided.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you enjoy it. to me, my Note has been a great phone. I love Samsung phones. I've had the Note 9. I've had the Note.
Is gorgeous,
the
dude.
Note
This
3.
screen, holy crap, it's beautiful. It's so awesome. I got this, like, I picked up this screensaver. It's actually pretty cool. I don't know how good it's going to look on here, but
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
nice.
so it's got like the dancing, but it's like crisp, man. It looks so good.
Yeah. And you get the video background going on, right? Is that what I...
Yeah, that's got a video background.
Yeah, mine's
Another
pretty
thing
much
that kind of kills the battery.
stationary.
Right?
Yeah, I have a stationary ROG background on mine right now. So like Republic of Gamers, PC type stuff.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
PC.
Nothing fancy, but
Oh yeah, nice.
With that Razer background, guys, come on.
Gunny
Figured you'd
has
have, like,
Apple
all
products
RGB.
over there.
I figure you'd have all RGB going around the edges of your phone, and
The other thing too is, have you messed with the? I know we're talking to phone now for the community, but have you messed with the side notifications and all that? So like we had the little shortcut on the side.
oh yeah, I had to get rid of Bixby right away.
Oh
I
yeah,
hated that
Bixby's
garbage.
annoying. Gotta have Google,
So bad.
but
Yeah,
I
switch
like
that
it.
to the Google Assistant. But yeah,
How
that
you can do the
sidebar
colors.
stuff, I just found that last night. This stuff you talking about, where you go into the side?
Yeah. So and then you
Yeah.
can set up the colors too. So if you lay your phone face down, so like the screen's kind of facing downward, when you get a text from a certain particular person, you can change the color and it'll light the table up that it's kind of laying on. Like it'll do like a ring around the outside edge of it, and you can see like who the text is from it per color per person. Like so, if I wanted Gunny to be green, my phone to be green, or if I wanted Jesus to be blue,
That's kind of like
it'd be blue.
my Pixel did that, but with an LED light on the screen, like behind the screen, and it would light up when someone called. And then if somebody had called and I missed it, it would be flashing that color. You know what I mean? So I knew I missed something. I always liked that. That was pretty cool. But I didn't know about that. I wonder if that's an option just for your phone or not. But anyways, let's get off phones.
Hey, enough of this hobo Android talk. This is an Apple
horrible Android podcast.
This is an Apple podcast
Yeah,
here.
get
I've got
that piece of garbage out of here.
my whatever. I have no idea what this is, but
Got your iPhone trash can garbage.
I do want to get rid of this freaking iPad Pro, which is like version 1. I do want to get a nice Samsung. I don't know if it's
the S7 just came out.
is that the newest one. I've been looking at that a lot, and that is
S7 and S7 Plus are the new ones, and
I really like that Plus.
They're on the same. They're on the same line as the new phones, the S21 phones.
And those are 120 hertz, I believe. Yeah, those look sweet.
I think the Plus is 120 hertz. I don't think the regular one is. I'm not sure. You'd have to look it up, but I think that was one of the things that the Plus had over, just like the Ultra has over the S and S Plus. The S and S Plus phones, they don't have the 120 hertz. They just have a 1080 display on them. The Ultra has the 1440. So
Yeah,
I think
figured
the Ultra is kind of going to take over the Note, though, I think, Mayo, because I don't think they're going to make... I think they cancel the Note now.
Yeah,
they just go with this line of phones.
The Note, to me, I mean, there's a little differences, but the pen on the Note is something I never really use. Like, I get the Note. It has the S Pen that comes out of the bottom.
The S Pen, yeah.
And there's features on there that I just don't use.
Which this phone supports as well.
Yeah, and
something your daughter would use, right? Like as far as kind of
I feel like someone that like has to draw like blueprints, or you know what I mean, like likes to draw in general. You know what I mean? Architects, stuff like that, like business people just jotting down notes and stuff like that. Like I can see its use, but it's not something I would use.
Yeah.
Really, I don't have any use for the S Pen. But it's a cool idea, and it's a cool thing, you know what I mean, to have. Your phone at least has like a little slot in it, right, that the S Pen goes into.
Yeah, it holds it, it charges it. Actually, it has a charge to it.
Mine will charge an S Pen as well, but you have to buy a case for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a case, and then the case has the slot to go in, because the Note's a little bigger, I guess, and it can fit an S Pen in it. Whereas this phone is still pretty hefty. It's pretty thick. Like it's a fairly thick phone.
My phone is thicker than my TV. So, it's crazy that is. 'Cause I bought that new, that OLED CX model.
Yeah, the CX.
And that thing is so thin.
Yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful.
All right, guys, let's move on to some news.
It's
got
news
news.
time.
The news. We got gaming news. All right.
Gunny, are you hosting?
I am hosting the show today.
Oh man,
The number one host that you host. Number two.
Why wasn't number one hosting?
We kind of got together last minute, so I wasn't prepared. I'm like, yeah, Gunny, I'll let you go.
I saw you post for questions, and I was like, man, the dishwasher's on right now. I'm like, I got to wait for the dishwasher to finish, and then I'll hop on and see if they're still going. So
we're at it, man. We're at the news. Good old Konami. They reaffirmed they are still making games and will not sell their beloved IPs. Konami recently stated in an investor announcement that they will be dissolving their internal development teams, sparking anticipation online that they may be selling some of their beloved IPs like Metal Gear Solid, Silent Hill. But they have just reaffirmed they are continuing to make games despite dissolving production teams. What does this mean, guys? I don't understand. Sounds like they're selling it.
Downsizing. That's what I'm thinking. Like Konami was a little while ago was talking about getting out of games altogether and just doing like pachinko and stuff like that. Like they have a side thing doing that as well, right?
Yeah, I remember hearing talks of Microsoft and them trying to pick up, Metal Gear Solid or something like that.
They're trying to pick up like a Japanese studio, so Konami would be something it's like Sega, Konami, you know what I mean? Capcom, there's a rumor every other week about them buying somebody else, and I think they have something up their sleeves. I think they have something in the works that's like a big thing that's going to come out this year. I think probably around E3 time, I would imagine. But I have a feeling that there's another big acquisition coming before the end of the year.
I wonder who that could be though, because none of them really get me too excited anymore. Like Konami, Capcom. Any of them old
Capcom
developers
would be nice. I think out of them all, I think Capcom would make the more sense. But buying like you got to think about it. Capcom, they need a fighter, right? Like like Xbox needs somebody to either take over Killer Instinct and bring it back again, or have something else in that genre, which Street Fighter would definitely fit that bill, obviously. Then you got your Resident Evils and like Mega Man, or Capcom's got a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff there, right?
Yeah, so, there's what is it?
Konami kind of makes sense too, but I don't know.
Of course. Yeah, I was going to say Microsoft already has their State of Decays, but what is the not Left 4 Dead? What am I thinking of? Dead
Rising.
Dead Rising, yeah, I was just playing like.
And they've had relationships with Capcom before on Dead Rising. Dead Rising 4 was an exclusive to Xbox One when it came out. The problem is with that is Dead Rising is dead.
Yeah, and I think
Vancouver,
they did the same
Vancouver
thing.
Studio, Capcom Vancouver, and they're shut down, so they're gone.
Yeah, and I think
they would still have the IP if they bought them. I guess if they wanted to bring it back, it would be up to them.
Right. Yeah, they've just always. I think a couple of them were exclusive, just timed exclusives at the time. Yeah. That first one.
4, I believe, was exclusive. I don't even think it ever came out on PlayStation.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was that release
I could be wrong on that, but I have a feeling that I'm going to look it up now.
It was Dead Rising 3, I believe, and that was a timed.
4.
Was it 4?
Oh,
okay.
Sorry, yeah. 4 was exclusive to Xbox One when it came out.
I think the only Dead Rising I played was the very first one. So I know they gave away one of them on Games with Gold. No, it's on Game Pass or something like that. I claimed it and it installed it on my Xbox, and so maybe it was in Games with Gold, but I still haven't touched it.
Yeah,
I'm wrong. It is on PlayStation 4 as well. It is on PlayStation 4 as well now, but it wasn't originally.
Right. It was definitely the time exclusive. Yep. Yeah. The last couple were. But next article we got here, guys, is The Medium. It's profitable just after a few days. The game uses unique split-screen perspective.
Well, yeah, of course it's profitable. Microsoft gave them money already. That's why it's in Game Pass.
Yeah.
It released a few days ago.
That was probably like 3/4 of their budget paid for.
Yeah.
But anyways.
The team made good on the unique horror title. Will be profit. Not too bad for a game that only released on 2 platforms. Says here that the game's sales have already eclipsed what has cost the studio to develop and promote the game, which is available on Xbox X, S, and PC. But guys, I've seen this article on other games too, like just recently on Twitter. So I'm like, okay, I see where they're going with this.
Yeah, that's right. It's only on next gen too, isn't it? It's not
I was
on Xbox
talking about that earlier. Like, I was looking for this game on my Xbox. I was just going to play it on there on my new TV, and it wasn't showing up. I'm like, I thought for sure this game was out. Like, okay,
but you can get it on PC Game Pass, right?
Right, and so it doesn't even show up on my Xbox Game Pass on my Xbox One X.
Yeah. It won't, yeah.
And now, I put it on my PC, but I don't launch the Game Pass on my PC that often. So, like, I didn't look on there, but I'm definitely going to go on there, and add it and probably play through it. It's not like it's like a short game the way it sounds, but...
Did you play it yet, Gunny?
No, I have it downloaded. I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, I played like maybe an hour of it. I wasn't in the mood for that kind of game when I started playing it, and I was like, I don't want to do this. Because it's a very walking simulator-ish game, right? Like, you're basically walking around exploring and finding and solving puzzles. That's pretty much the game, and it's a little bit slow, but I heard it gets better. Like, you kind of just have to hang on for a little bit, and then this one section of the game happens, and everything kind of just clicks with you, and if the story starts making sense, and it feels a lot better. But I couldn't plug I couldn't plug through to get there, so I'll try again another night. I just wasn't in the mood that day.
I think somebody from the community, maybe I'm said that it was like you want to get to the part where you're like in a wheelchair or something.
In a
like
wheelchair,
that. And they said that's where it picks up.
Yeah.
Yeah, seems like some people might be... I don't know if they're having a problem with the stealth, or they're saying that part is too easy to get through, or it's just boring, or I don't know what it.
I heard it just wasn't very good. It just isn't the way the stealth is implemented. It just isn't very good.
Yeah, but don't worry, guys. If you guys got a Tesla, Elon Musk, he's got you covered here.
Oh God,
Jesus, he's got you covered, guys. The old
10
Tesla
teraflops, baby, 10 teraflops.
Model S reveals with a bold claim it can run Project Red's Cyberpunk 2077. An image in Musk's tweet showed a dashboard display screen featuring The Witcher 3, a 2015 game from the same developer, but Cyberpunk came out just last month. For you Tesla owners, how do they even download that? I guess just via Wi-Fi, right?
It's through they have an app.
That's cool.
There's like a game app, Cuphead's on there. There's a bunch of games that are on the Tesla app.
I couldn't imagine trying to play Cuphead in a car,
it's just a small screen.
Yeah, well, I mean
but it's a nice screen. It looks good.
Cuphead's so difficult. It's such a little Twitch-based game. Yeah. Could you imagine? Because like even if you're in the passenger seat playing this game and say it's in the center console, you're looking at it in an angle, because it's not going to be directly in front of you, and it's going to be on a small screen, and you're going to be in Cuphead trying to dodge 800 bullets.
That small, though. It's not that small.
It's not small, but
maybe the display.
Not too bad. It's like playing on a tablet, I guess.
Yeah.
But I would find that hard.
Mayo, my only problem would be, like, let's say, like, me and you you're driving the Tesla, right?
Of course.
We're going to downtown Dayton or something. I'm over there with a controller trying to play Cuphead, and I get fucking pissed off and whack you in the head with a controller. I don't want us to wreck because I'll just, that'd be an issue.
Well, that's where the automatic driving comes in, Gunny.
I don't think that you can play games while the car's in drive.
Yeah, I would imagine they probably disable.
That's where mods come in. That's where I hack into it.
You gotta hack your car. But the thing is, Gunny,
you have jailbroke Teslas
because the car constantly needs firmware updates. And if you can't get the firmware updates, then your car's just a piece of trash anyways, so it doesn't matter. So there's no point in hacking it.
Rendered useless. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd just be telling, man, roll the window down. I'm going to throw this fucking controller out there. Trying to play Doom or something. No. But here we go, Mayo. The Epic Store, Epic Games, they gave away nearly $750 million of free games in 2020.
Was it dollars or games?
I'm sorry, 750 million free games, not dollars.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I have bought maybe bought 2 games from the Epic Store. 2 games, okay? 2 purchases I've made, not counting the Super Meat Boy because I returned it. But anyways, so 2 games I bought: Hades and Bug Snacks.
I think I bought 4 or 5 so far.
I have, my library is like 80 something games.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, how do I have so many games here? I'm like,
right.
You know what it is? Imes posts the stupid thing in the Facebook thing. And I'm like, all right, sure. I click on it. I get the game through my phone. I don't even go on the Epic Store on my PC. I just do it on my phone. Boom. Next time I go on the Epic Store on my PC, I start scrolling through my library. I'm like, where did all these games come from?
When did I get that one? Kind of thing.
Oh, there's so there's a guy at work. He has a Switch or whatever. He plays various things on there, and his PlayStation 4. He hasn't been able to get a 5 yet. So says, yeah, man, I really want to get a PC. You know, everybody talks about the PC and how great it is. And I think it was like last week I was telling him, we were talking about whatever the fuck game it was. And he goes, and I go, man, I said, that might be an Epic exclusive. He goes, oh yeah, they make the Fortnites or whatever. I go, dude, check it out. I said, why don't you go on your phone right now? Go, you know, thanks to Sean Fuller also, and me reading him on the news every week. I'm like, go claim your free games now. You'll have this nice freaking library by the time you get a PC because it's all free. So go get all your free games. Probably have 20 games by the time he gets one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some good games there too. They don't release, and not all of them are great, but they
no,
do
they're not.
a lot of.
They're not. I scroll through my library
games.
and I'm like, oh my god, this is garbage. This is garbage. This is garbage. This is garbage.
There's games now that are worth playing if you've never played them. You know, like we've played most of this stuff, but some of these people have not.
The stuff that is good, I've already played. Right. Like so. But
we have that luxury, anyway, some of us, we play a lot, and
we play a lot of games compared to the majority of people that, play like maybe 2, 3, 4 games a year,
Or I think like a younger audience, they can't afford to get games all the time.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't buy the free to play games. So they just log into Epic and they play it up and tell their parents. They're like, oh, add to cart, And so they're getting these free games. They're not asking their parents for permission. So they're building libraries. I think this is more of a future thing, for Epic. They wanted to get users. They wanted to get people on their platform. So how are we going to do it? We're going to give away
coming
games.
Back.
And people are coming back daily now to get free games. Now, occasionally, you're going to be like, okay, now I'm invested because I now have 100 games in the Epic Store and I have 100 games in my Steam Store. Now it's kind of like 50-50, and that's kind of like what their plan was, I think, is to go through and attack it this way. Like, how do you attack Steam is, to try to get people in your ecosystem and not necessarily...
To be completely honest, that's what Microsoft did to me.
Yeah.
Like, I have, between me and Gunny, we have 718 games.
Yeah.
It's like, I've never felt an urge to go anywhere else. You know what I mean? Like,
because you don't want to start over either.
Even when the PlayStation 4 was better than the Xbox One, I didn't care. I actually didn't like it. You know what I mean? I really didn't. I was so used and so built into the Xbox ecosystem that leaving it just didn't make sense to me. And
that's the thing with me on the PlayStation 4 when I do go onto the store to browse, which is not very often, where I'm like, whoa, I better check, make sure that's not, that is the one thing I always check. I'm like, okay, is that all going to be on Xbox? Because that's where I'm buying that game if it is. So the only thing I'm really playing on there is like, your Days Gone and the Last of Us 2.
And that's really what PlayStation's been for me too, is just to play their exclusives and that's it. And like, I don't really play any multi-platform between them. Anyways, I'm not trying to start a console war here. Our discussion just went into this.
Yeah.
So.
Xbox is better, man.
I mean, the PlayStation, like, it's so good for its exclusives. You can't really it's great. Great. That's why I want a PlayStation 5. Like, I didn't have before. I want to play Ghost of Tsushima. I kind of want to play a couple of these other games, and
it makes sense for someone like you because you have a monster gaming PC that you can play all this stuff, the Xbox stuff on anyways, right? Like if you got Game Pass, so it doesn't matter, right? Like you can still play all that shit.
I'm still going to primarily be in that ecosystem.
You don't have another one.
Where I'm still going to primarily be on my PC, and I guess you could say the Xbox ecosystem anymore, and Steam. Where the PlayStation is for me, it's going to be for those exclusive games, your God of Wars, your Toshimas, and A couple of these other games that just are not available for,
That's why I couldn't care less about the shortage right now, not being able to find one. It's like, you know what? There's nothing exclusive for PlayStation that I personally want to play right now. You know what I mean? Ghost of Tsushima doesn't really interest me. I've heard really good things about it, but it's just, I don't think I would get into it. I don't think I would invest enough time in it. I mean, that's kind of what happened to me with The Last of Us 2. I played like three or 4 hours of that game and I put it down. I couldn't play it. I was just like, I'm not invested in this game. I'm not interested in it at all.
Well, so basically, I mean, you look at it this way and just say, hey, it's an Assassin's Creed of Japan. Does that not?
Yeah. No. That makes it worse. I never finished I haven't finished an Assassin's Creed game since
Origins, maybe? Did you finish that one? That was the last one I finished.
No, are you kidding me? No, I didn't finish Origins.
That was a long game, too.
I mainlined that one.
I think maybe Assassin's Creed 2, I think, was the last one that I actually finished. And I don't think I finished the first one. I think I got somewhere in that and my save got glitched or something, and I gave up on it.
I got tired of chasing feathers.
And then I think I finished the second one, and that's probably the last Assassin's Creed I actually finished.
Yeah, Unity I didn't like, but I liked Brotherhood and Assassin's Creed 2.
Yeah.
Didn't play 3. I know, right? We had, or did I buy Assassin's Creed 3 remastered? And I haven't played it yet. That's on Xbox.
Did you?
I bought it on Xbox. Yeah.
Or did we get it free or something? Are you sure you bought it?
I'm pretty sure I bought that. I think I messaged you and said, hey, dude, check it out. I got Assassin's Creed 3 remastered. It was on sale. But then it was probably
yippee.
You guys have those games that you pick
play
up.
Origins or something.
You guys
for like 15 hours.
I do this all the time. I'll buy a game thinking I'm going to play it, and I never go back to it. Like I bought a couple of games, and I'm like, I'm going to play this sometime, and then because it was on sale, and then I'm like, oh, I heard such good about it, and then it's still in my library, and I've never touched it. I don't know how many games I've done that with, but
Gunny does that all the time.
That's what it reminded me of when he said that. He's like,
or I'll play 10 minutes of it or something. Like, okay, I'm done.
Or Gunny buys a game, plays 10 minutes of it, and I finish it.
Yeah, right. He's like, I got every achievement in it. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, I can't remember the last one I did. I know there's a game or two that I purchased recently that I have never even touched yet, and I'm going, oh, I heard this is such a great game. And I remember actually I bought one on the Switch. It was on sale. And it was one of those, I think it's called like Smash Up, and it's basically you take old 8-bit genre of games and you pick two categories and it mixes them together and it makes one game.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like you make an RPG and like a side scroller or something like that, and it makes one random game. And it didn't get the greatest reviews, but I was like, it was on sale for like $4.99 or something dumb, and it was normally like $20 or $25. So I picked it up, I added it to my library on my Switch. Never launched it. Like I just scroll past it. It's like, okay, Mario Party it is, Mario Kart it is, Hyrule Warriors it is. He says all those
better things to play.
Yeah, and it's just like I should. And then when I'm not there, I don't think about it, And then when I do turn on the Switch, it's to play a specific game. Like I turn that thing on, focused on a certain game in my mind. Like I'm going to play Mario Kart. I'm going to play Hyrule Warriors. I don't sit there and go.
You should have bought that game on PC, because if you would have bought it on PC, you might have actually played it.
Yeah, it was on the Epic Store, but see, I would probably pass it up there too, because I would be like, oh, I got some other AAA title to play, and then sit over in the Epic Store, which I launch like once a week to collect the free games, and that's it. So
yeah. I've been using it a lot recently, though, because I've been playing Hades.
Well, yeah, your Hades accounts on there. See, my Hades accounts on Steam, so I still launch Steam every day.
Oh, I could talk about Hades for hours. I love that game so much.
Gives Game of the Year, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it would have been my number one, and actually, Phoenix Immortals Rising would have been number 2.
Yeah, I remember Gunny picked it up.
I'm not done with that game. I just dropped off of it. That and Assassin's Creed, of course. Just put them on the back burner so I can play my SnowRunner.
There's so many games like that. You know what I mean? It really needs to appeal to you to keep your attention, And you have to, if you don't like that, if you don't like the humor, you're not going to like it. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's got things that I can see why it would turn people away from it, but it really kind of grabbed me, and I really been enjoying it. But I found like lately I've been playing, getting some puzzles that I'm just like, fuck
That's
this.
the
like,
thing I heard. I did watch
stupid puzzle.
one of the guys from our community, Jay. He was streaming it one night, and he was at the very end of the game. I jumped in the stream, and sure enough, he was like at the very end of the game, and the last level was a giant puzzle. And I read something online saying like basically the whole last level is like an hour puzzle. And I'm like,
Oh my God.
Oh no, not one of those.
Don't tell me that, man. I've been putting so much time into this game. Okay, yeah. Nah, but at least the one thing is puzzles can be easily solved with a Google search.
Yes.
So, I mean, if I bang my head against it too long, I will look it up because I'm not gonna fight it, you know. But yeah, I've really enjoyed that game a whole lot. Anyways, we were in news, weren't we? What happened here?
We're flexing over here with the old Xbox. We got one last article here with Game Pass, guys. Let's see here. Today, Microsoft, probably not today, but Chief Executive Officer Nadella and Chief Financial Officer Amy Hood talked about Xbox Biz, guys. Nadella gave an overview of the quarterly performance and announced that Xbox Live achieved over 100 million monthly active users. On the other hand, Game Pass reached 18 million subscribers.
Damn.
Numbers.
Good for them.
They're growing for sure.
I mean, 100 million Xbox Live. Wow.
That's man. Dude, just go to like, I was going to do the math on this, but
can you imagine if they just convert a quarter of them to Game Pass?
Right.
Just a quarter of the 100 million to Game Pass. People think, oh, I'm going to go on a rant here.
Yeah, but no,
because listen, here's the thing about Xbox. Everybody always bitches that Xbox doesn't have games. Xbox doesn't have any games. You just fucking wait. You just fucking wait. Because listen, they have 23 studios working on games. When they get their ducks lined up, they can put out 2 games a fucking month for an entire goddamn year, exclusive to the Xbox fucking console. And then who's going to have the games? Then who's going to
print those out, by the way? Don't put 4 out at once. I'd appreciate it, Xbox.
You know what I mean? Like, I just like, I don't understand people. And, you know, everybody's plastic box is better than everybody else's.
Well, definitely, right.
You know what I mean? Like, or hey, not even plastic, aluminum boxes too. I'm pointing at you, Mayo.
Where?
Aluminum boxes.
Your RBG box over there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
RGB.
Mine's glass. What are you talking about?
Fiberglass or whatever the fuck it's made out of. You know what I'm talking about. Well, then it is a plastic box then. But yeah, it's like, you know what, man? Like, PlayStation has good shit. Xbox has good shit. PC has good shit. Game where you're comfortable. Game where you enjoy gaming. And don't
as many
put
as you
somebody
can
down because they play a different fucking platform. Because these days, especially, it doesn't fucking matter anymore. It doesn't fucking matter. It really doesn't.
Yeah. Well, you know, like especially with like we were. That's the one thing, Ryan. That's the one conversation we never have anymore. Really is. I think when it comes to this exclusivity, right? Where remember we used to always have that, like, we get our gears and it'll be on one box, you know, one box. You have to get that box. But now it's like, hey, like, just go get a PC, or, you know, you hobo Android users are like, I already got Game Pass on here. I can just fire it up on my phone if I want to play Gears on there or whatever through the Game Pass app.
Listen, Gunny, I can run 120 hertz. 1440 on my phone, motherfucker.
That's why I want that tablet.
TVs.
That's why I want that tablet.
You know what I mean? Like, some people are running 1080, right? Like, just, whoa, don't drop my phone. God.
Don't break your phone. You just got it.
But like, that's gonna be huge. That's gonna be huge for Microsoft, being able to do that, being able to get to people's phones. That's gonna open up markets that they are gonna make so much fucking money in. Markets in India, markets in China, markets in Japan, where it's that's where they're trying to push this right now.
we
you know what I mean? They want to go into those markets.
We think it here, in this, the US of A and Canada and all that stuff. Like, we don't think about overseas, like the impact that the mobile market has over there. We talk about
there's more than that. And if they can grasp just a piece of that market, as well as keep their Game Pass growing through Xbox, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be, they'll make their $7.5 billion back in fucking no time.
Yeah. Like, this is not on this week's articles, but we did kind of miss it because of the Game of the Year show. I think it was announced, literally the next day or whatever, where they were, how do I say it? I don't want to say doubling the cost of Xbox Live, but it was like a 50% increase or something like that.
Yeah, that was a stupid move. I don't know who fucking okayed that in Xbox, but somebody caught that at the last second and went, whoa, what are you doing? Like, right now is not the time. It's not the time.
Yeah, right. I would think
like to pull people in. I think what's happening is they've done so much of this $1 shit, like get your Game Pass Ultimate for $1, and people are, I think all those people that got like 3 years of Game Pass, back in the day when they loaded up their Xbox Live and switched over for $1 and all that shit. All that's catching up to Microsoft right now, and they're starting to be like, whoa.
Right.
There's a lot of money.
We got all these studios to pay for. Right. We got plenty of studios.
They're trying to find a way to like make their money back a little quicker. You know what I mean? Because right now they're in a phase where it's like the long run is what they're after. In the long run, they're going to make their money back easy, right?
And I think
I don't know what happened. I don't know what it is at Microsoft as a company that made them go, hey, we need to double our price. But that's just a bad move, because right now you're trying to pull people in, and that's going to do nothing but push people away from your platform.
Yeah, and there's so much bad press right away when that happened. I was at work and one of the guys, and of course he's a PlayStation guy, and right away he was like, look at this crap, your Xbox is on, and I was just like, okay.
I get that.
He right away was like, look at this, like just attacking it. And I'm like, I don't know.
That's part of the problem, right? That's like what I was saying.
Yeah, I'm like, I pay for Ultimate, like, so I don't even pay attention to that. I'm like, I have gold included with my Ultimate, so like it's just rolled into one, but just the thing I would love to see, and I know they talk about this in VGO, and the weird thing is about between PC and console is it's always been free to play online, and I find it weird that you still like, if you didn't have Game Pass, you still got to pay to get online. And I know Microsoft charges them for the free games, so I think Sony lets you play Fortnite without having to pay. But if you want to play some of the other stuff, you have to pay. I just find it crazy because on PC, no matter what the game is, you don't have to pay anything to play that game online. And I don't know why. I don't know how all that breaks down. I don't know why they do that. I'm sure they have their reasons, but it's just crazy to me that to sit there now, I'm in this ecosystem where I'm lucky enough where I don't ever have to worry about paying a monthly subscription to play online, on top of my internet charges. I pay for internet already, that's enough. And
that's the thing. Microsoft was trying to break into the PC market because Steam had the stranglehold on it, right? And now Epic is in there too. But Microsoft has been trying for a long time to break into that market, and they haven't been able to. And I think that's part of the reason why there's no charge on PC to play on Xbox Live, is because they know they would just push people to Steam to play games instead of...
Yeah, that would definitely do that to me. I wouldn't even bother. Like, I would, exactly. Like, if I can't pay online and I had to pay to do something different... It's bad enough
that they can't get their store to a point where PC gamers are okay with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, to try and pile on top of that, hey, now you got to pay to play online. No way. It's never going to fly, right? You know what I mean? And that's part of the problem is, on console, it's always been that way. Since Xbox Live came around, because that was the first kind of thing that came around. Microsoft kind of created that. The problem with them now is, what I think they need to do is just cancel Xbox Live altogether. Say multiplayer is free now. If you have an Xbox Live subscription, you have a choice. You can go into Game Pass and just make Xbox Live Game Pass instead. You know what I mean? Like, So you have Game Pass, and then you have Game Pass Ultimate. Game Pass Ultimate gives you your PC and everything, and maybe throw in something else. Maybe find something else that you can Game Pass Ultimate gives you 100 gig of OneDrive space, whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. It's something, you know what I mean? Like, there's something else to take away that Xbox Live thing going away so that you can keep your price point at the same, levels. And then you have two levels. You have your $20 or your $15 level and your $10 level. And it's almost exactly the same as Xbox Live. And now it doesn't matter if you have it or not. You get multiplayer. If you have it, you get all these crazy games instead. You know what I mean? I think that that's the transition they need to make. I don't know if it's going to go in that direction or not. But personally, that's how I feel. Like I think Microsoft should move forward in the future. But the problem is like Gunny just said, 100 million subscribers
right
to Xbox Live, where there's 18 million on Game Pass. So you convert those Xbox Live people over to fucking Game Pass, and that's huge numbers.
Yeah,
that's massive numbers.
And like you said, it's just the biggest thing is how many people have really loaded up accounts to where they're not paying for it for a really long time. Like they invested at one point in time, and like you said, if they could roll them over, because what is Live a month? No, I don't remember. Like
a month, it's $10.
And, okay, so it's the same price as Game Pass, and you Game Pass, you get gold, right? Or you get Live with it?
No, only Ultimate. Only Ultimate, you get gold.
Oh, so you got to pay the 15. So
yeah, if you have regular Game Pass, you also have to pay for Xbox Live. So it doesn't make any sense, right? Like to have regular Game Pass.
You would pay $20.
Right. Well, even if you don't have a PC, you might as well get Game Pass Ultimate. Just so you get Xbox Live and Game Pass in one bundle
and save $5
for less than you would pay, right? You save $5.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think too, like you were saying, I think they should get rid of gold and just to simplify it. Like there's like the people that aren't as
I don't even care.
Involved.
Get rid of the free games a month.
Yeah.
If you just dump those games into Game Pass, then who cares?
Yeah.
Right.
And then
it doesn't matter anymore.
It'd make it a lot less confusing because you got too many little programs out there that you got to buy into. The people that aren't as educated on it, or some of the parents and like the older people, they're looking at it going, okay, what's gold? What's Game Pass? What's Game Pass
Live?
What's Xbox Live? What's Game Pass Ultimate? So if you can narrow it down to less subscription stuff.
What's Xbox Live Silver? Can't you just have that? Can't you just have Xbox Live Silver?
Why do you need platinum?
What's wrong with Xbox Live Silver? I don't understand this technology stuff.
So I think the easier you make it, the better.
Fortnite, that's all.
And that's where it gets hard.
Now you don't need Xbox Live to play Fortnite. Thank God for that.
You need an account, but you don't have to pay for it. That's good.
Yeah, you don't have to have gold to play free to play games anymore.
That was sort of
that barrier was stupid. I don't know why that was there. What's the point of a free to play game if you have to pay to play it?
Right.
It's not free to play anymore, right?
Yeah, that's sort of my thought too. Where I was thinking, I don't know, Ryan. I think we're still kind of early on the whole Game Pass thing. I definitely see it succeeding, more in the future. But how long has it been? 2 years since Game Pass came out, or a year, 2 years?
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, I wouldn't even say testing, but I think it's obviously on its way up. And for me personally, I like the games as a service. This is fine, right? I always have the option to buy the game, but I don't. So I'll just play it as it comes out. But I thought about that too. I thought about, Xbox Gold. I thought, if anything, they would lower the price, because I thought, wow, if they're really making bank over here in the Game Pass,
they don't want to give people a reason though, Gunny, to take just Xbox Live without getting Game Pass. You know what I mean? They want Game Pass to look like the better deal.
Well, that was a shitty move. If that's what their intent was, I mean, that was pretty crappy, right?
No, I don't know if that was their intent in the price increasing. I'm saying that's why they wouldn't lower the price of Xbox Live.
Okay, but
I mean,
all right, but let me go back to this. I think I'm perfectly fine with there being two tiers, right? Because if somebody's just playing Fortnite or just Madden or NBA 2K, whatever the fuck, right? They don't want anything to do with the Game Pass thing. They want the gold. They want to be able to communicate with their friends and play. So I'm like, fine, let's just say one gold and then, hey, I like this Game Pass Ultimate and regular. That's cool. So 3 tiers, I'm good with that, right? Because there are people out there like Jonathan. He'll just play Xbox Live Gold every month. He'll pay the premium price on it. But I don't know if he has Game Pass Ultimate or not, but I definitely try to get 3 months.
I think he does.
Yeah, I try to get the cards 3 months at a time, so it's it's a cheaper price. Wherever I can find a deal, wherever Sean posted at or Newegg or 3 cards maximum, boom, I'll buy them up. I'm good to go for 9 months. Yeah, but I think that's
Gunny, you rocking a Bowflex there? What's going on?
a what?
A Bowflex? What the heck is that behind you?
A Bowflex? No, I don't know what you see back there, but that's just a bed back there.
Oh, never mind. It's your mic boom. It's your mic boom. Never mind.
Oh, this thing here. Okay.
It looked like it was behind you. I didn't see your mic attached to it. It looked like it was behind you, so it looked like it was like a Bowflex exercise machine or something like that. Yeah, your Target mic.
Yeah, that's my bull.
That's what I think of every time I see the back of his microphone. Is I think a Target.
Target.
I know.
It's like the Target brand.
No, I totally forgot what the hell that was. It came with something.
Did we get through the news? Are we still in news?
We're
I'm sorry,
done
guys.
with the news, guys.
I haven't been on here for a long time, so I'm just shooting the shit with you guys.
Yeah. And eventually I do, Ryan, I know you're not into those games, but I want to get Hitman 3. Ooh.
Yeah, you know what, Gunny, if you pick it up, I'll play it. I'm not going to not play it, but it's not my kind of game. I've tried the other two. I tried them when they came out, and I played like 2 levels, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not into this. I really think I'm like just not. I really think like there's times where I'm like, I just don't want to game anymore. I think I just don't want to game anymore. Like but then something will pull me back in, like Hades pulled me back in, right? Like there just hasn't been a lot of stuff pulling me. Like everything that I thought was going to pull me in didn't. And I was like, oh, wow, okay, Cyberpunk kind of flopped for me, and Assassin's Creed was cool, but it didn't really pull me in, and I kind of knew that was going to happen because that's what always happens with Assassin's Creed games. And I don't know, man, like a lot of games this year just kind of
I get you. I get where you're going with that because I like that City Skyline game, and I play the shit out of that. But man, I haven't played it in a couple months, and it's scaring the hell out of me. Where I'm like, what's going on? I've been playing that freaking SnowRunner with mods the last month on PC. I think I bought that on Epic.
I just feel like I'm getting old, and I don't have the patience anymore for gaming.
Yeah. Well, I think that too, Ryan, is you have a young one now, and so your priorities are a little different. Like I was the same point when my kids were younger. Like I was big into gaming. Then when I had my kids and they were younger, I had my hands full. Like you're busy with your kids. You're hanging out with your kids. You're parenting your kids. You're going to places. You're taking kids places. You're doing different things. Then when I found for myself, right now, once they get older, I got back into it. And so maybe you will once the kids get a little bit older and they start kind of doing their own thing, or maybe your daughter's going to start picking up and playing some games. My sons play games. My 15. He plays, and so like him and I will game together, and which is nice.
Yeah.
But I mean, your daughter is young yet, so once she gets like,
she's 2.5. Dude.
Yeah.
She's not playing anything yet. So she watches me play Bug Snacks, and she loves that shit. She runs around the house going bunker, 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 bunker. and
it's different too. Like, you get them into games. Like, okay, here you play this, you play that, and they you can watch them enjoy it. But when they get to 12, 13 years old, and they're playing games, and they're becoming their own person, and you're playing with them and you're enjoying the game with them, it makes it enjoyable again. And I think that makes it fun for me is, my son who's 15, he does a lot of competitive shooters and stuff like that. And I like sitting there watching, like he'll get on my PC when he's here and he'll play Valorant and competitive, or he'll play competitive Fortnite, and, he's doing competitive Minecraft now, and like everything he does is competitive. And I enjoy watching, and I'll ask him things and talk to him, and he'll be like this and that. And, I was telling you that one time on the podcast, talking about he was watching competitive chess on Twitch, and so we sat and watched it together. We watched it together just a couple nights ago. He was watching some VODs on YouTube.
My son was watching that too the other day. I walked in, I was like, "Are you playing chess?" He goes, "No, I'm watching it." I was like, "What?" Okay. These millennials.
It's chess is kind of making a comeback after that Queen's Gambit show. That was good too, man. Did you guys watch that?
I did not.
What is it called?
Oh, it was a fucking good show, man. It was really good. It was really, really good. A lot better than I thought it was going to be. Like, I kind of threw it on thinking, oh, this is something Kathy's going to like. I'll just watch it. And then I was like, no, this is really good. So
Nice.
it's worth checking out.
Queen's Gambit.
What's it called?
Gunny.
The Queen's Gambit.
Queen's Gambit. Thank you.
Yeah.
I did watch a TV show, guys. I actually didn't game. I actually watched a really good TV show. Randomly, just threw it on. I'm like, I'm going to watch something. It was called Your Honor with Bryan Cranston.
Okay.
So I think there's 7 episodes so far. Oh, it's really good. Bryan Cranston at his best.
Judge or something?
Yeah.
Man.
Excellent show.
You know what I've been watching recently?
No, you'll like it. It's really good, Ryan. You'll check it out.
Yeah. I'll take a look at it. What is it on?
It's Showtime.
Netflix or Showtime.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I use the old Red Box, or not Red Box, but what is it called? Booby Box.
Wow. I'll have to take a look for it. Have a look on the internet box.
Yeah. But I like those crime thrillers.
Now, you know what I've been watching? I've been watching a good old Canadian show. And I used to watch it and I fell off of it, and then I just looked it up the other day. I was like, oh my God, there's so many more seasons of it I haven't seen. So started watching it again. But have you guys ever watched Letterkenny?
Nope.
No, I know what that is, though. I've seen previews.
It's pretty funny. There's a lot of Canadian humor, sort of, kind of. I don't know. I guess it's not really like how you would think Canadians are, but it's about this little small town in northern Ontario called Letterkenny. And I thought I was like, is that real? Is that a real place? And yes, it is a fucking real place. It's a real fucking place.
Are you going to go up there?
And I was like, well, I said to Kathy, it's only 3 hours away. Should we like go for a drive one time just to go there for the hell of it and see what it's like? But that show's funny. If you want to watch a stupid show that'll make you laugh, it's short. It's only like 20 minutes long, like per episode, but it's like got like 9 seasons now.
Oh, is it like a YouTube thing or what?
No, it's a show. I'm trying to think. I think it's on up here. It's on Crave, so that would be the HBO Plus is part of Crave. I don't know. It's hard for me to tell because I use Crave, and Crave pulls in a bunch of different streaming stuff. I think it actually might be on demand on my TV, which is Showcase. Do you guys get Showcase down there? I know it's a Canadian thing, but
no. HBO Plus for sure.
I'm pretty sure it's on Showcase.
I know of Showcase, but I don't have it.
Yeah, check HBO Plus. It might be, or HBO Max. It might be on there.
And it's funny. It's funny because I'll see like Crave, but it'll be on the Xbox, but it'll say, "Hey, you own this app or whatever." But I'm like, wait, do I own it or does Ryan own it?
No, I own that. Yeah. So, yeah, Crave is like we don't have HBO Max up here. So Crave is owned by a company called Bell, which is an internet service provider / phone / mobile phone provider and all that stuff, right?
But either way, I don't think it matters. Sometimes it really just doesn't matter where you're at. You can always there's always a workaround. And I know it pisses Netflix off a lot when people do that. Start changing the regions to watch other things they're not allowed to be watching.
Oh yeah, if you got a VPN, you could just flip it onto a Canadian VPN and you'd get, you could get into Crave, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, Netflix is like, what are you guys doing? You can't do that. But
I wonder, actually. I wonder if you could log into my Crave account.
I've never,
Probably not, because it would probably check your IP and be like, no, you're out of region.
Yeah, so I'm going to try it, though. I'm going to try
Gunny, do we have any more news?
No.
Nope.
No, we are done. We are going to go to...
Gunny's Corner.
We're going to go to the console corner, man, the best.
Oh, shit.
The console corner and free games. Let's start with that for PlayStation Plus for the month
What do they got?
February. Oh, they got some good stuff. They have Control, the Ultimate Edition.
Oh, so you get the next gen version.
Yeah.
Or do you? Is it the PlayStation 4 version or the PlayStation 5 version?
I think I was looking at this. I was trying to research it a little bit before starting the show, but I think
that's confusing as hell apparently on the PS5. It's like trying to figure out whether you're playing a PS4 or PS5 game, and
They said they
Wow.
fixed it.
It even
I don't
wasn't
know.
the last.
No, they put some extra step workaround where it's like, do you want to play this game or that game? And then like before you launch it, it'll ask.
And what was
That's
it
what I
last
mean by
month? They
fixing
offered
it.
they offered a game that was only for PS5 people. What was that game?
Well, no, so they're doing it.
was-
That's what they are
Bug
doing.
Snacks was like that too, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Bug Snacks was only for PS5.
So then
there's a PS4 version.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a game to give away on there, and it was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
only
Yeah, it was-
offered on the PS5 people.
It wasn't Bug Snacks. It was the one after that.
Oh, I forgot what. Yeah, I erased whatever
I
that.
can't remember now. Yeah, because
I think I remember Jonathan or somebody saying like he wished he had a PS5 because he couldn't claim it. He wanted to check the game out, but he couldn't claim it because he didn't have a PS5.
Godfall, is it? No.
No, I don't think it was Godfall, but it was something decent.
Yeah, but I think because I didn't research it enough on here, but I think it's Destruction All Stars is the PlayStation 5 game, which is the PlayStation Plus.
Destruction All Stars isn't even out.
Right. Well, so it was supposed to be a launch with the PS5.
Yeah. And then it got delayed.
Right. So now it's an actual PlayStation Plus game for PlayStation 5. And I'm pretty sure.
okay.
Let me see if I go to the thing here.
So you got to go on. You can still claim it. You just have to go on the website to do it. You can go on the website and claim it if you have PS Plus. Just sign in and claim it. And then when you get a PS5, it'll be there. But it's a pain in the ass. Why can't you do it off the console? It's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Right. See, they offer Control, Concrete Genie. Yeah, Control and Concrete Genie. I think Concrete Genie was already a Xbox Games for Gold.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. I don't remember though.
But moving over to Xbox, your Games for Gold, you are getting Resident Evil. This is for the first half of February. Resident Evil, Gears 5, a really good one, and Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb. So that must be your backwards compatible game.
Yeah.
Or both of them, actually, right? Resident Evil and Indiana Jones. I don't know if that Resident Evil is like some kind of remake or remastered or whatever.
That's kind of ticking me off that Xbox isn't giving X and S enabled games away for games with gold.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. The fact that we bought next gen boxes,
I guess because we're getting them in Game Pass. I think that's kind of the pull. It's like you're getting games in Game Pass that are enabled for it, but
like the medium.
Isn't Gears 5 enhanced for the Xbox Series X and S though?
Yes, it is.
So kind of,
yeah. I guess
you could say Gears 5.
But it's Gears 5 and it's on Game Pass, so don't give me games that are on Game Pass.
Good point.
But it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
Like I get it.
But like we just said too, there's 100 million people or whatever it was playing with gold, and 18 million in Game Pass. So there's
that's
still
kind of the reason why I was saying
million.
like just abolish gold. But you brought up a good point, Gunny. There's people that don't want that. You know what I mean? There's people that don't want Game Pass. They just want their Xbox Live so they can play Madden and whatever
Call of Duty.
they play, right? So I guess I get that. We all do that. We tend to forget that, just because we think a certain way doesn't mean that everybody else is in the same situation. You know what I mean?
Like, somebody might only play Call of Duty. That'd be the only game they play. There's no point in having Game Pass if they only want to play Call of Duty. Our situation
is kind of niche. You know what I mean? There's, there's a lot of people that are like us, but not as many as you think. You know what I mean? Like when you think of the scale of how many people are actually gaming, it's like, the amount of people like us is probably really, really small in that, the percentage is really small in that group.
When I go to streamers and I look at their this is whatever it'll say profile or what I'm about or whatever. It's very rare that I'll find somebody. He'll say, hey, he or she will say, I'm a variety streamer or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I don't see that very often that they play a variety of games,
Yeah.
I wonder if they got Game Pass.
Streamers are usually like, hey, I played this game. That's my pull. That's how I get people in here, right? Like
or they'll just play, their selected, their rotating 10 games through Steam or whatever to keep it. Yeah. But
it kind of reminded me, I did stream the other night, just throw this out there real quick. I don't know if you guys had any interest in this game or not. I picked up Everspace 2. It's in early access. That I streamed one night. That game is, I remember the first one is a roguelike spaceship game. And it's like you could do some mining stuff. And it gives you kind of story. The first one, I didn't really play it much after full release, and they changed the game the way it played. I played it in the early beta on the first one, and I enjoyed it, and they completely reworked the story on that game, and I never went back and played it. But I picked up a second one in early access, and it's just a gorgeous looking game. But it's that roguelike, you know, you got to go and you have your spaceship and you make permanent upgrades, and you have a run, and when you die, you kind of start over because your character's like a clone. And when you start over, you have some of that stuff you unlocked, or you take that money back with you and buy permanent upgrades for your ship. So your ship's a little stronger the next time you go out, you know.
Yeah.
But it just kind of popped in my mind. That's something I have played.
What's the gameplay like?
It's like you can do in the cockpit view or outside the view, like third person view. You're in a spaceship, but it's roguelike. So
is it like top down, or is it like
you're behind your ship?
third person?
Third person behind your ship. And it's literally like a dogfighting game. You're locking on to enemies. You have missiles and machine guns, basically, or lasers. And say you destroy some enemies you run across, they can drop some kind of different cannon, and you can equip it to your ship, and then you can use it for that run. You won't permanently keep it. When you die in your run, you collect money and resources, and you take those resources and you craft new weapons. You craft new permanent modifications to your ship.
Your starting loadout or whatever.
And you start over, yeah. And then you can actually unlock new ships later on and stuff like that. But that's the whole premise of the game. It just kind of popped in my head that I did stream it the other night, and it's just a really good looking game. I think it's, you know, the graphics are amazing for what it is, and but it's still kind of a unique roguelike in that aspect. Is it's a shooter. Like,
where were you playing that?
I picked it up on Steam.
All right, maybe I'll one night when you're not playing, if I'm on, I'll check it out.
Yeah, definitely check it out. I think you like your roguelikes also, so it's very much a roguelike in that aspect.
You know what? You know what's funny is, like, for the longest time, I hated roguelikes.
I was the same way
at all. It was Dead Cells. Dead Cells did it for me. There wasn't anything else before that. There really there's Rogue Legacy, I think, was maybe before Dead Cells. That might have been the thing that actually I liked it, but I didn't really get into it as hard as most people did. And then Dead Cells hooked me. I was like, oh man, this is good. And then West of Dead, that was really good too. West of Dead was fun.
After that, I noticed like clones coming out on Steam that never went anywhere, but there were clones. I was like, okay, it played out differently, whether it was top down or something, but I'm like, okay, another roguelike. Here we go. They're just popping out.
I think that happens with a lot of games. So if something gets popular for a minute, that was an indie game, and then it got popular. PUBG. So people were trying to copy it for a little while to try and see if they could catch some of that spark. But
PUBG, Battle Royale, that same thing. You know what I mean? Like, then everyone was like, wait a minute, PUBG's making money. We can make money. Boom, let's make one.
I think like in Dead Cell situation too, I think a lot of people look at it and they think more Metroidvania than they do roguelike. In Metroidvania is, you need this ability to get to this area, like Ori, like you have to go back and unlock this ability to go back and get to this new area.
Even Ori had better music than Final Fantasy VII.
That was a little orchestra though.
God
but it was good music.
but yeah, so like, your roguelike is literally it's not unlocking new path, it's unlocking new abilities and getting stronger, and not getting access to a new area because you have a new ability. I mean, it has that a little bit in Dead Cells, but it's not very hard. Like, you get the spider rune and that stuff where you can climb on the walls pretty just by playing straight through. You don't have to go through and find this ability to go over here like you would in a Metroid game. And people confuse those two. Like Hollow Knight, I thought was kind of more Metroidvania than it was roguelike. Yeah. And people are like, have you played Hollow Knight? You'd really like it. I'm like, no, I don't like Hollow Knight. I don't like Metroidvania. I don't like Metroidvanias.
I do like Metroidvanias, but I didn't like Hollow Knight. I tried it and I was like, because everything I heard about it, I was like, oh, this sounds like I'm going to love this game. This sounds really cool. And then I was like, no. Same with The Messenger. I never got into The Messenger either. It was another game that everyone was like fucking blowing loads all over. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I don't I don't see it. I don't get it. But whatever.
I think the humor was there with The Messenger.
Each his own. Each his own.
Hey, Gunny, what was our free game on the Mighty Epic Store?
Gandara Trials of Fear Edition.
Oh, that they gave that away on Xbox a long time ago, I think.
In a bizarre universe where the oppressed are on the brink of oblivion, Dandara has awoken to reshape the world. Welcome to the unique 2D Metroidvania, speaking of Metroidvania,
Yeah, I tried this.
platformer full of mystical
hard.
creatures and boundless exploration, Mayo. You claim that? Get it.
I have
Says
not, but I
own it.
will.
It's on. I think it's on Game Pass. It's either on Game Pass or we got it through Xbox Live Gold. I can't remember. One of the two.
So good it's free, for sure.
But I find that a lot. Like a lot of games I find on Epic Store that to give away have been given away somewhere else. You know, I've said that before on the show.
Yeah.
Like, and or vice versa. If it's been given away in the Epic Store, it's going to be given away somewhere else. It feels like, which is fine. You know, I mean, pick it up on multiple places, I guess, and have options to play it, I guess.
I could look through all my duplicates on Epic and
Gunny,
Xbox.
I got a question for you. What's free on Steam?
You know what? It's like just searching and searching for like any kind of free game is like non-existent.
Hey,
What's free on Origin?
They have a free tab up there on Steam. They have free to play up there.
They have free to play,
stuff,
not
but
free
they're
not giving away games.
No giving away games though. We can't be doing all that now.
No. Gabe's still too busy in New Zealand.
Yeah, let's wait till he comes back from his vacation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
is that all the free games?
Steam gives you their
play, buddy?
That is it for the free games. We are moving on to community questions. We have several. And our first question comes from Bill Gardner. I think this is more of a he does ask, how many Samurai Jesus would it take out all those damn Mongolian?
Well, Jesus would say one.
Jesus?
He would say one.
How many?
If he was here.
No.
I'm going to say 5. Jesus would say 1. I say 5.
I say he couldn't do it. I say Samurai Jesus is a sham.
He's overrated. Is that what you're saying?
Jesus is real at all. I think it's all fake.
Or is it more Pathfinder
Jesus? Doesn't even have a samurai sword.
Fake Samurai Jesus.
Show me your samurai sword, Jesus. I want to see it. I want to see it. Yeah. There's no samurai sword.
Next week we're gonna be live on the show, and Jesus is gonna have a giant sword in the background.
Here it is.
He'll be sending you pictures in the private Discord.
We'll be getting pictures in the messenger of this big sword he went out and bought tomorrow.
Yeah,
those are Photoshop.
Like $6,000 on a sword.
Jonathan,
just to sell it in 2 weeks.
Darren Hilton, he says, can we make this show 7 hours again? He said he enjoyed it a lot. Gives me something to look into at work. What do you say, guys? We go in 7 hours. I got to work tomorrow.
I agree. I used to love the long shows that we did for a while and then when you guys did them, that was one of the draws to me originally when I first started listening to HGP was I could enjoy like a 3-hour show at my work because I work a 10-hour day and I would listen to it and it would take up 3 hours of my day once a week. And I'm like, this is amazing. I would look forward to that day it came out because I knew I could listen for 3 hours of my workday. And yeah, so it's just,
Gunny, what did I always say to you? What did I always say to you guys when we had the discussion about doing a shorter show? I said no. There's a niche audience out there that wants a longer show. And there's a lot of people. And I'm one of those people like you, Mayo. I'm the same way. A longer show gets me through my workday. Give me the longest show you can.
Right.
7 hours is a bit excessive, but
yeah, we're talking
my entire day to listen to that podcast, and I think I still had like 45 minutes to listen to the next day.
Yeah, I went through and I edited it a little bit, and I was skipping through and listening to some things over because so behind the scenes stuff is my copy was kind of messed up because of the way my recording was, and I used Gunny's copy, and it had a fan in the background a little bit, and so we had to edit it out, and I was going through, and so it took some work. So I was listening to a lot of it over like after the show, and I even edited some of that night after working 10 hours. Then we recorded for about 8.5 hours, and then I did some editing for about 2 hours that night.
Dude, you have no idea, Mayo. There's one show we recorded. We went out to Kathy's sister's, and I ended up recording the show in her sister's basement.
I remember that.
Yeah, and so I recorded the show, and then we did it with Vengeful Jedi. And Vengeful Jedi has this thing where he just, what is it that he says? Okay, man, or something like that. Or there was just like some particular thing that he just said over and over and over constantly through the entire show. And I had nothing to do. And I meticulously went through that entire show and cut every time he said like, and every time, like, because he would be like, and I like, and like, and like, and then I like, and then I like. And I was like, no, you like. That's it. You like. That's it.
And it's so easy to do. Is, we can sit back and say, yeah.
The thing was like I started doing it because there was something that happened in the show that I wanted to cut out, and I started doing it, and then I caught that him doing that, and then I started going through and cutting each one out. I was also cutting out a lot of gaps, a lot of like long gaps between talking and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of that in that show for some reason. I don't remember why, but there was something about it that I was going through. And it took me an entire day. We recorded the show, and the entire Sunday, I sat there meticulously picking that show apart. And I probably cut about 30 minutes out of the show.
See, and people always wonder.
And fucking, like repeated things that were said over and over. You know what I mean? Like, it was crazy. I went through that show with a fine-tooth comb.
One of the things that
it was like 24 hours of editing.
Oh my gosh!
I'm never fucking doing that again.
But you know what, Ryan? I think a lot of people
you can't stop, right? Like, you can't stop. You got to keep going because you can't like.
Well, you can watch it forever. Like, you can keep going through it, and you can be like, "Oh, I want to fix this. Now I want to fix that. Okay, I want to fix this." And you can just keep going sometimes.
Well, remember, Items used to do like the end of the show folly stuff, and then you kind of carried on that torch, Ryan, which I thought was pretty freaking cool.
Yeah,
like you did the little excerpts at the end.
That was a lot of time too. Like
I don't know how you did that
for like 3-4 hours, and then I would stay up until like 4 a.m. editing the show. The show was fine. Like, I had a template. I was like, drop the top music in, drop the bottom music in, and then I would shift the bottom music around to like make it blend into the end of the show. And then the show would end, and instead of just having music playing for 2 minutes or whatever, I would we would be on for an hour. And I would take clips from us being on for an hour, just goofing around with each other and shooting the shit. And I would take the clips out of that and drop it into the end of the show. And then sometimes I would add like a song or something like that at the end. There was one particular time that Gunny was something. I don't even remember what it was, but I ended up making the Misadventures of Gunny Chief. And there was a whole song that went with the Misadventures of Gunny Chief, and that came out on like 2 or 3 shows at the very end. If you didn't listen to the shows that I edited to the very end, you missed some stuff.
Yeah, it was like literally
stuff at the end.
I thought about doing that. I thought about throwing things in at the end of the music, throwing something.
Because Jim does it every once in a while. He peppers stuff in every once in a while, but
yeah.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to do that, man. And you have to have like a good hour of you guys just being goofs, like just goofing off with each other. You know what I mean?
Right. And we would do that, right? For an hour, like an hour and a half before the show started.
We would for fucking recording to show up. and Gunny would just record. Right?
Now we're talking about what it is. We're waiting on Jesus over there to show up, and we're all doing what we do now, and then recording it.
Well, Jesus is a lot busier now than he
is. Yeah, he's a busy man.
Lot.
Yeah, good times. But Ryan, I'll never forget it. I remember it might have been me and you, or me, you and Jesus, or whoever it was. And we were in an Xbox Live, chat with one of the members of the podcast, and they were saying like, and we were thinking like this other person, like, oh, like you don't know or whatever. And I think, and then he's just like we just assume, right? Like he's part of the show, like he listens all the time. He goes, no, I'm a part of the community, man. I haven't listened to your show in months. It's too long. And it wasn't like offensive to us. It was just like, oh, okay.
Was
sorry.
Before we restarted?
Yeah, no, this was like, once you were on the show.
Who was that? Yeah.
You know who that was? That was the Canadian guy. He's up in, he's over on
Carbide.
Carbide, yeah. I'll never forget it. I was like, oh, okay, Carbide, that's cool, Sorry, man, we'll try to make a shorter one for you, bud.
Well, just get a 2-parter. That's the way I look at it. Sometimes if it's a long show, you can just break it up into 2 parts. And have 2 days.
Well, we did that with end of the year show. Like we would do 3 shows, 3 hours each.
Yeah.
Or
No,
E3
that was E3. Yeah, when I used to do the video stuff too, and that was another thing on top of. We're getting real behind the scenes here for some reason. I don't know why, but we're reminiscing and having fun. So I hope you guys are enjoying our conversation. But anyways, so here's some behind the scenes stuff. I used to do a lot of video stuff when we used to go live, right? Like I did all the setup for the cameras before, and that was a huge pain in the ass to do. Huge pain in the ass.
I still get asked about that, Ryan. I still get asked
if
about
anyone
that.
had to drop out of the show. If someone had to drop out of the show, I had to scramble to fix all the cameras and get everyone back lined up again. It was just a pain in the ass. So it was always like, if you're a guest coming on the show, we do long shows and you're going to stay a long time. That's pretty much what happened, right? It's like prepare to sit in for God knows how long.
Yeah, that's the thing about having video is I've been asked before, do you guys do video now? And I'm like, I've thought about it in my mind about wanting to do it a couple of times, but I know the chore that it's going to be. Like, it's hard sometimes.
Once you get it down, it's not so bad. It's just as long as you have a steady crew where it's like, just the three of you guys. Right? If it's just the three of you all the time, then you can have a setup where it's like, it's always going to be the same. You might have to shift names around because people's cameras changed where they are. But other than that, it's always the same setup. Mm-hmm. It's when you start throwing other people in and start doing other stuff and then you have to set up a new camera. Then you have to shift everybody else's cameras. And you know what I mean? Everything gets all messed up. And then the next time you go to record, you got to fix it all again, right? Bring it right back. And it's a lot of behind the scenes pain in the ass stuff that you don't think about that goes into the show. And I used to do a lot of that stuff. And I know Jesus always says, Ryan, I miss you, man. I miss you because you used to do so much shit. Yeah. And now I have to do it.
He's over there, OBS and all this other. I'm like, what? What is that? I have no idea. I came here to record, And
you know what? I miss it too. I do. I honestly, I miss it. I miss doing it. I used to really enjoy it. I wouldn't have done it if I didn't enjoy it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have done the end clips on the end of the show if I didn't enjoy doing it. I liked scrubbing through that stuff. And finding the stupid things that we said to each other and, hoping that, hey, someone else is going to get this and it's going to make them laugh and their day will be a little bit brighter because of it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like that's really what I hope for in the end is that I make someone laugh or we make someone laugh. You know what I mean? Like, or whatever I edited together makes somebody laugh.
The Sea of Thieves song. Remember that one?
Yeah. Right? And I used to make songs. Yeah. There was the Sea of Thieves song.
Yeah.
And then the Pathfinder Jesus song.
Yes.
That was the other one. I should come up with a Samurai Jesus song. I should do that.
And then we'll put that in either maybe middle of the show, end of the show kind of thing. That would be cool.
We'll get a day where you can make one and you can just send it to me. And I'll just edit the show that week, and I'll just work it in. And Jesus won't even know, and then he'll just come across it.
But I don't know. Does he listen to the show though?
He does. Right. Well, hopefully he doesn't listen to this one.
Does he listen to the show? I don't know. Maybe he does. I don't know.
Or we'll get a bunch of feedback, and he'll have to listen to the show.
I don't think he's allowed to listen. Or maybe he could throw an earbud in at work. Well, I don't think it's allowed. I don't know his policies over there.
Why you guys can't wear headphones at work?
Where he's at, maybe not because
not allowed to have his phone.
He's picking though, right? Like, is he picking?
I think he kind of drives equipment. Like he drives like a forklift here and there. Like they move stuff around, or he's on like a production line of them making ice or bottling juice and stuff like that. Where I'm at, I'm on a mobile vehicle. Like I'm not allowed to have headphones in because you need to hear your environment. We actually have radios that we can use. We have these big ion radios that'll go like 40 hours on a charge. And so I take it to work, I strap it to my lip, and that's how I listen to my podcast. Like it's pretty loud, and you can turn it up and you can hear it really well. And it's just like having a car radio. Like I'm driving around my lift and I have my ion speaker playing my podcast I listen to. And that's nice. But some people unfortunately cannot have earbuds in their workplace, and I think he's one of them.
Yeah. If you're driving a vehicle, for sure, you need to be able to hear what's going on around you. So.
Good times, man. Let's move on to the next question here. I think you know this guy. I think you know this guy. Brian
keep taking us way on tangents. What's Brian Talk saying?
Fellow Canadian says, why was there no Stadia talk in the Game of the Year show? Answer this one, Ryan. Why not?
Well, Hey, this wasn't in the news. Did you talk about this? There was Stadia news.
Yeah, that
is there?
that was really recent. Yeah, like I just seen that
Yeah,
earlier.
that was this week for sure. Stadia is closing down their studios.
They're,
So
where they're making the games,
They're
yeah.
not making games. They're not making games anymore. They stopped that. They're putting the axe into that studio, and they're just going to continue on with third party stuff. They're not going to have any first party. So
Wow.
I feel like Stadia is going to be dead in a year or two. That's
Damn,
my,
I really had high hopes for them. I was like, oh, they're going to keep going. You had, what is it? I go to, man,
Google Graveyards.
yeah, no, but there's
Go to it. Go check it out. There's a fucking
that's what
humongous
Google's-
list of things that they've trashed.
Yeah, I was going to say that they just trash so many things. The nice thing is they're not afraid to come
They
out with
just
stuff.
trashed Google Play and replaced it with YouTube Music. That pissed me off.
Mhm.
yeah, well, YouTube, keeps growing, but what was I thinking of? There's like a fucking launcher I go to or something, and it's like, oh, hey, you're going to be able to play Stadia games, and what's the other service? Luna, and I thought, oh, that's
Amazon
cool.
is Luna, right?
Yeah, Amazon's Luna, but there was like a some kind of premium thing, and I thought, okay, that's cool as long as these services keep growing. But yeah,
Streaming isn't for us. That's not for us.
no, I know,
That's not
I
for me.
understand.
That's not for Mayo. That's not for Jesus. That's not for us. That is a completely different market altogether. That's going to be, that'll have any interest even in that. And that's part of the problem is I don't think Google realized that. Google thought that, oh, well, it's just going to be like another console. We can get 100 million subscribers like Microsoft did. Why can't we do that?
Right.
You know what I mean? And it did not work out that way. It was like they walked into it not understanding how much Microsoft has put into Xbox. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
Microsoft has invested a lot of time and money in that ecosystem. You know what I mean? And they have a way to make money back with it.
yeah, and I like the fact that they're also
And Stadia is just
priorities. They're really taking their sweet time on it for sure. But I think they probably don't want to rush it either. They don't want it to fail. So, and I'm sure Sony's going to follow in some way, but they will be way behind on the streaming market.
Yeah, but like I was saying, like there's a market for it, right? Like there's going to be a market for it, but it's not the big market they thought it was, is what I'm saying, right? And I think that they're starting to realize that now, and they're going to back off from it. And hey, who knows? Who knows? Maybe that market just hasn't caught on yet because internet infrastructure isn't good enough. But and who knows if they'll hold on long enough for internet structure to be good enough for it to actually work properly.
And data caps and all these other things that are,
I mean, a lot of that stuff has to go away. I mean, man, like I just renewed my phone plan, obviously, right? Like, for instance, just to say, right? Like, my old plan was like 12 gig a month. That's all I had, 12 gig, and that's shared between me and Kathy.
The whole account, yeah.
Now, mind you, most of the time we're at home and on Wi-Fi anyways, so we never really...
right.
We came close, but we didn't usually go over that 12 gig. Every once in a while, like when Olivia was born and, like I'm sending a lot of picture messages and stuff like that. So I'm using up a lot of data and uploading a lot of stuff through the network and whatnot, right? But for the most part, no. Now, my new plan, because I had to switch my plan because I got 5G now, is 32 gig. And it's $10 cheaper than my old plan was. So I'm like, what the is going on here? Like with data, it's just stupid. Like,
Yeah.
even like, I don't think I'll ever kill 32 gig unless I really try to. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, unless you guys go on vacation and you're taking lots of pictures.
well,
and
even on
really
vacation, you're
scrolling
getting hit even
social
harder.
media.
I think that's for like in my situation where like I have, my kids and like I have multiple people on my plan. And so I could see using 32 gig shared, between my 3 kids. My daughters are on their phone watching TikTok
It's a bigger,
and they're watching, they're on Twitch. They're on different things. They're on their phones a lot. And I know they are some of their time at home and stuff like that. And they're on the Wi-Fi. But they are also on the go a lot, and they are using it on the go. When I would be traveling somewhere with them, they would have their phone. They would be something on their phone, like they would be looking at this. They're using Snapchat. They're using, just different stuff, and that would use up a ton. When you start adding up 3-4 people on one account, then that adds up. And so I have unlimited, and so
the way my plan works is we share our data, right?
Mhm.
Like, so my plan is 20 gig and her plan is 30, or her plan is 12. So we get 32. Like, that's the way I worked it out when I could go bigger and spend more money if I want to, but it's
Right.
like, what's the point, right? Those were the lowest tiers I could pick because in the 5G network, I have to have Ignite, and Ignite is blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I had to
blah,
pay
all that
extra for
garbage.
my 5G, and then
Yeah.
even then the 5G wasn't real prominent when I first got mine. Like
Use mine.
months ago. Luckily, like where I live right here, in the big cities in Ohio, we have all these big cities in Ohio, all the modern technology.
Big cornfields, big cities.
I actually do live in the corner where
Well,
they have 5G. Which is nice.
is there's so many cornfields that their cell towers can get right across.
Line
One
of
cell
sight.
tower
Yeah.
does all of Ohio because it's such a flat land.
But yeah, I do get 5G over here in Little Ohio. So
Yeah, it's 5G's very spotty up here right now. My area where I actually live doesn't have 5G, but down by where just like maybe like 10, 15, 20 minutes away from here, you can get into a 5G spot, and it's very spotty in my area right now. But if I go like downtown Toronto, of course I'm going to get 5G, right? Like it's right across Toronto, but hasn't quite made it all the way out here yet.
I don't remember the last time I went to, the San Francisco Bay Area, Oakland, these bigger towns, but yeah, just running the old 4G up here.
Yeah. Well, you won't know if you have 5G in your area unless you look at a hot map or you have a 5G phone that tells you that you're in a.
Yeah.
I'd probably
mine
have to be
automatically
there, switch it over. Yeah.
Well, your phone has to be 5G, right?
mhm.
Your phone- your old ass iPhone is not 5G.
No, dude, I've got I almost said S. I've got the, I don't know what version I've got,
You got like
but
the 12, don't you? You got the 11 or the 12?
I think I have the 11.
I don't remember. Is the 11's not 5G? I thought the 12 was
I think
the
only the
first
12
5G.
was, but yeah.
Okay, I got a hobo phone. I need to upgrade. But
Go Android.
hey,
Anyhow.
Get this phone, man. I'm telling you, this phone.
Mm-hmm.
It's garbage. Beautiful. Phone.
enough of your Android, man. Brian has another question.
What's his other question?
man.
He's got too many questions. He always has
Another one about Jesus should have been here. He wants to know how many shares did Jesus buy in the GameStop with the
Why is it
Patreon
always-
money.
Why is it always directed at Jesus?
Yeah,
Why is-
he
Brian, what's going on here? Why are you always
Well, he
directing your
knows.
questions at Jesus?
he
'Cause he
knows
knows it annoys him. That's why.
he gets all his Reddit info from Jesus. So Jesus, maybe he's on the Reddits and the Robinhood. I didn't even know what a
you know what's
Robinhood
going
was.
on, right? You do know what's going on, right?
I had no clue because
Yeah,
I
you
didn't even know.
This
No, I have
news
no
either.
idea.
What are you guys doing? You
No, well, I
didn't
have
do
a
the GameStop.
401k, so I don't know what a Robinhood is, or I know what Wall
Robinhood
Street
is
is.
a trading app. Robinhood is a trading app.
stock trading app, yeah.
Well, Jesus told me that in our chat, but I was like, what?
Wait,
Okay, Robinhood, cool.
It's a way to trade stocks easily online through an app, right? Like, so basically what happened is, and I could I'm no expert at this stuff, so please bear with me here. I'm just trying to explain what my knowledge of it is basically these humongous hedge funds are shorting stocks. Now, what shorting stocks means is they sell, well, what is it? They sell while it's high in hopes that it's, no. They sell while it's low in hopes that it's going to raise and they can make money off of the purchase or something like that. No, they sell when it's high and then drops down. But what happened is these Reddit people went in and they made the stock go flying through the roof. So these huge hedge funds pulled all their money out of the stocks, maybe hoping to kill the company or whatever. You know what I mean? Like trying to just, okay, this stock's dead. Let's get rid of everything, right?
They were trying to bomb it, sort of thing.
And then they're hoping that, they're hoping that the company makes a comeback, right? So then when they buy back in at a lower price, right?
Yeah.
And when they buy back in at the lower price, the money that comes back covers what they already pulled out plus more. So what happened was they raised the stock so much that these people lost more money than they put in the first place. And the problem is these hedge funds aren't even using their own money. They're taking loans from the bank or wherever to buy this stock in the first place, and then pulling it out, hoping that they can make a return, pay the loan off, and then still have more on top of it, right? So that's what they're trying to do. They make profit off of that, right? So basically these Reddit people just turned it around on them, watched them sell all their stock, and then totally screwed them out of all the money that they needed to pay off those loans.
And caused
so now honestly, this is not going to hurt a hedge fund. Like, these hedge fund people are billionaires, okay? Like, it was probably pocket change in his pocket. But that's not the point. The point was that they were trying to make a point that, hey, you guys do this all the time, you know? And all these rich hedge fund guys are coming out crying, you shouldn't be able to do this. How the fuck did you make all this money in the last fucking 10 years? Doing this exactly. Sorry, but the stock market is a goddamn casino, and sometimes you win and sometimes you fucking lose. This time you lost. Yeah. Sorry.
And they didn't like that the people that were buying on, Robinhood, they were getting in because it's a younger generation. And then all this money, they're making, like, stocks growing. So Gunny, like, you're buying stock originally at like $10 a share, and then all of a sudden it jumps to $30 a share. Like, you're making money as like the small person. But then Robinhood turned around and then locked it up so you couldn't buy and sell.
They wouldn't let you buy. Well, that was because the guy that owns Robinhood is one of these, knows these hedge fund people. You know what I mean? Like, he's probably buddies with all of them, and he's all pissed off that his buddies just lost a bunch of money.
And so then they locked it out from the common people.
They wouldn't let other people buy in to make it even worse.
So was that happened? Now I see what's going on. No, so was that legal? Could he have done that?
It's legal. It's absolutely legal. It's what these fucking billionaires have been doing for years.
And now that's why there's lawsuits now against Robinhood, and they're
because all these people should have been able to fucking put their money in wherever the hell they wanted. Who the hell is Robinhood to say where you can put it and where you can't?
And prevent you to do that. Yeah, they're prevented people from putting some money into a stock. You know, so.
So that's almost like insider trading, I would think.
That's what I was thinking. Okay. That'll be my next question. Yeah.
They're on the wrong side there. You know what I mean? They're just trying to save their hedge fund friends' butts. Which
they got stuck in the middle.
If you really wanted to, you could just, if you're really that into playing the stock market, I'm sure you're not using Robinhood.
You've been using like Wells Fargo and different companies.
Yeah, there's other places you could go to do it. You know what I mean? And you didn't have to do it through Robinhood or anything like that. But Robinhood is probably one of the top apps for, the younger generation, because, the older generation probably isn't using apps on their phone. You know what I mean? They're still probably doing things the old-fashioned way,
Long-term investments or longer. Yeah. Makes sense. I know my son, this might be a little bit off topic. He's like, we need to start invested in Dojo Coin. I'm like, what the hell's a Dojo Coin? We went from Digicoin and mining coin to now Dojo Coin. What's next here, Mayo? What are these millennials up to?
I don't know either. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that currency is like all these fucking currencies are fucking weird. I don't know, man. I thought about getting into Bitcoin when it was a big thing, but it's such
a weird market because there's like no value, and there is a value, but it's not a physical thing.
Nothing there, and then it's
turning nothing into something, and then turning it into money. But
yeah. Hey guys, let's go to Discord. Let's switch it over back to the gaming, the real fun stuff over here.
What do you got in the Discord?
With Leahy. Leahy says, what, if any, are some games that you guys are looking forward to? For me, myself, I'm really looking forward to Back 4 Blood from the guys that made Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
We'll start with that. He had a second question, but I just wanted to see what you guys are looking forward to. I know I'm looking forward to Hitman 3. I know it's out, but damn, I do want to play that.
I don't even know. I honestly don't even have anything that I'm really looking forward to right now, because this year is so up in the air. You know what I mean? Like, everything is so up in the air right now. Like, what's coming out? What is coming out? Like,
There was that list of confirmed Xbox games, of course, for me and you in that ecosystem.
No. Yeah, well,
I know. And I'm like,
indie stuff though, that exclusive Xbox.
Yeah.
It was all
right. And I was like, okay, nothing really popped out at me that I was like, oh my God, that's got to go on my wish list, or, I better bookmark that.
We're kind of in a down time right now. You know what I mean? It's like, which is weird because the last few years, the beginning of the year has been huge. There's been some big titles that came out at the beginning of the year. And there was supposed to be this year, but a lot of them got pushed because of COVID, right? I mean, Far Cry 6 would have been coming out soon.
Yeah.
If it didn't get delayed. And
allegedly.
Now it's in March. I mean, that's something, I guess. I'm kind of looking forward to that. That game looks cool. As much as it's hard, but I'm trying to
I'm just looking forward
really
to some new
stay
IPs.
Away from Ubisoft stuff,
I just want some new IPs I can get into. Some big.
Me too.
Something unique, something new.
I want Starfield to come out this year. That's what I want. That's a new.
You never know. Never know where that. Yeah, they're very secretive. They're very tight-lipped, especially.
I feel like
over Bethesda.
Maybe we hear something at E3 about Starfield, kind of like a Fallout thing, where it's like Starfield is coming out this year and then it comes out in the fall. That's what I'm hoping for. Best case scenario.
You never know. I hope it is something like that where it's not like, oh my gosh, this endeavor is so big, it's going to take us years to make it. Please, don't do that. You got your Microsoft money. Let's go.
Mayo stripping, guys.
Oh yeah, I'm getting warm. Cold Ohio. I'm getting warm in here. My sweatshirt.
I still got my window open over here.
Ohio. I'm up here in Canada, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Mayo's over there. He's sending me pictures of snow cars and.
Yeah, we got like 6 inches of snow yesterday. So.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Gunny's over there talking about open this window, and I'm like, I can't do that. It's snowing right now. Like it's gonna be snowing in my apartment.
The only thing that concerns me, guys, about this Back for Blood is. I don't think I've seen photos of it, but it uses this card system, and I guess what I mean by that is,
isn't it like perks though?
Yeah, like perks or buffs. So is it like a Gears of War? I want to know what it is.
Yeah. It's gonna be like, hey, you with this perk you get like 10% better accuracy, or something like that.
It would be like a skill tree. It'd be like a skill tree you could switch out in a way. You could think Star Wars Battlefront. I think
so. You unlock these perks as you progress, kind of thing.
I'm not sure. This is what it sounds like to me.
Tree?
Think like Battlefront 2, where you get these little cards and you can unlock the perks and you can switch them out to whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
maybe a particular build.
Just keep it simple. I don't want to fuck with the cards too much. That I do want to play the game. That would be my thing.
I don't think it's going to be that big of a part of the game. Like it'll just be like give you like a little tweak of. If you take this card as your perk, then you get this sort of tweak. You might, hey, maybe you can triple jump. Like I don't know if there's a triple jump.
Or the 20% ammo. Yeah,
you carry more ammo. You know what I mean? Or your gun has more ammo in a clip or something like that.
And as long as they keep. And I'm sure, they
movement speed or whatever. You know what I mean? You move 10% faster.
Yeah, but don't sell these cards. Just keep it. Everything just keeps everything in that.
As long as it's an unlock thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that I want to buy or purchase.
That's the problem with frag right now. Is these fucking frag powers? You have to buy them, and they're like fucking. Some of them are like fucking $30. It's like, what the hell are you? What's fucking crack are you smoking that you buy fucking $30 for a perk that gives you 10% movement speed? Like,
yeah.
What advantage are you really getting there?
But I'm perfectly fine for it being a games as a service type thing. But yeah, don't let somebody just be like, well, I bought the premium edition, so I got all the gold cards or whatever. Like, whoa, let's not turn it into a fucking Star Wars situation again. Let's keep it simple and grounded. If we're playing the game, I don't want anybody to, let me activate all my different cards that I purchased. No, let it
but I think
be whatever I've earned and
something like that, where like Star Wars was you competing against other people. Where this is you're working in a 4-man team against the computer, so it's not a PvP.
Yeah. You're not if it's like not DayZ, but World War Z or whatever, but it's with cards and it's Left 4 Dead, then I'm perfectly fine with that.
But it's not. Yeah, that's the thing. It's not PvP, so it doesn't really matter the perks, the card.
There
perks.
are so Left 4 Dead did have player damage or whatever. But I mean, it wasn't, you really had to like
but
totally go fucking crazy on the other person to kill him. But yeah,
I mean, you can even think about like
that was another fun part of the game.
World War Z.
It's not. You're not getting an advantage over another person by having cards. You're only making your experience a little different or better or whatever for you. Right?
Or there could be perks in there that's going to benefit your teammates.
Your team,
like,
there could be team.
Like
perks,
it could be stuff that's going to be like you had this perk that's going to increase the health of everybody within an area of you or something like that.
Or your entire team has health regeneration for 10 seconds or something.
If there's so many feet from you or something like that.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine. I'm good with that.
That's all speculation.
Yeah. I'm not speculating. I'm just like, wait, what is this?
We're just pulling these perks out of our ass here. It's not.
I do know a couple people that was in the betas, and I'll have to reach out and ask them and see they played it and they really enjoyed it. So I'll reach out and ask them and see how that all worked, and for sure. Like I haven't watched much on this game at all, so and maybe Leahy knows. Maybe I'll talk to him some because he might have seen.
I just want to know: is there something to be concerned about, or is it just nothing? I just want to know that right away. And I think that's just it for me. Other than that, I'm all about it. Left 4 Dead. I see people still playing 1 and 2, and loving that. Loving those games.
Leahy, he's the Canadian guy, right?
Yes, he's in Alberta.
He's in Alberta. Okay. That's what I was wondering. I was like, I wonder where he is.
Yeah, he's in Alberta.
Us fellow Canadians, we got to stick together.
Yeah. Hey, he wants to know. He also wants to know about best gaming memories. And playing, what does he say here? I think Left 4 Dead was one of his best gaming memories. And playing that game led me into my second question about gaming moments that have really stuck with you over the years. What are some of those great gaming moments that have been with you?
One of mine was playing old school, the original Final Fantasy on my Nintendo when I was younger. Like I remember it was during the summer when I picked it up, and I don't know how new the game was, but this is before the Final Fantasy series was popular. And I'm playing this game. This is back when Dragon Warrior was popular, and I remember buying it. And it came with this big fold-out map, and it had all the enemies on one side, and you flipped it over, and it was the map. And I remembered it was like summer, and it was stinking hot that summer. And I remember specifically going downstairs and setting up a card table downstairs because I didn't have any air conditioning in my room. We just had like box fans in my bedroom, and like a ceiling fan or something. And it was just miserable. It was like 100 degrees at night, and it was just super hot. And I remember going downstairs, setting up a card table, carrying a big CRT TV downstairs, setting it on that card table, spreading this map across the front of it, and kicking back and playing and finishing that game. I remember just beating that game, and just being so proud to actually beat this final, because it was right at that time too. I was like right at the end of the game. So the next like 2 or 3 days, my whole little setup, I had a little fold out, a chair that went with that card table sitting in the corner, and I had my TV down there, and nice. And just was sitting there playing there in that corner, and it was my corner for a couple of days because it was so stinking hot. That's something that's always kind of stuck out to me.
Yeah, I think one of the ones for me is just probably playing and finishing Zelda on the original NES. That one really sticks out because I believe that was like, like that gold cartridge. It could have been either that, I'm trying to think if my dad had bought that in like Super Mario Brothers or everything all together, or we had to go to Toys R Us to pick it up or something. But yeah, those were just some really good memories from the NES. Just thinking of that game in particular system. And, I know people can laugh and, think it's silly or whatever, but just with my brother and playing Robbie the Robot on the NES. And, it's not something we played all the time, but it was like, fine, like, fuck it, we're tired of Duck Hunt. Let's go fuck with this Robbie the Robot thing.
And that was the actual physical Rob, right? The actual... Yeah, I never had that. I always wanted it as a kid, and I never had the version of the Nintendo.
It was so useless.
And it was totally useless.
And I know
because it never got used for anything, right? That was the thing.
There was one game that you played. Yeah, I forgot what it was, but
there was one game. I can't remember.
It was boring as shit, right? But yeah,
I looked it up recently. I don't know if you guys. I know you guys can kind of see, but in the background behind me, I have a cabinet, and it's full of an old Nintendo, and it's got games in it and stuff like that.
Yeah, and so you got cartridges.
Yeah, it's got the cartridges in it, and it's got a couple figurines. And I have the light gun and the Nintendo and all that in there. I thought about getting a Rob from like eBay, and
yeah?
just put it, and it doesn't even have to work, just to have it in there for display. You know, to
Make
put
sure
it in
has
there.
all the parts.
And I have an old
so
an old CRT TV from the 80s. I think it's dated 82 from Sharp. And it has the 2 UHF, VHF channel with the 4 prongs on the back. You know, you have to put the little adapter.
God.
And I'm going to set that up on top of it because it's only like a 20-some inch like TV. From back in the day. So it's going to sit there. And I'm thinking about maybe buying an old Atari again. And because the TV still works, hooking it up and playing the Atari on it, like all original, and keeping it complete like how it was back in the day. So
my memory goes way back to my dad bringing home the ColecoVision.
Mm.
And this was my first console. This was my first ever console. And it was a family thing. And we all played it. You know, I remember playing through Smurfs and Cosmic Avenger and, you know, all those Zaxxon, you know, all those old ColecoVision games. And that was the base. That was the start of me enjoying video games and it becoming my hobby. And it stuck with me. There was a time period when I was, you know, probably from, you know, being a young kid to, you know, just before teenage years where I didn't really game much, but that was more so because I couldn't afford it. Like I didn't have a console. The only time I ever gamed was if I was at a friend's place or whatever. So when I was a teenager, I got my own job, and then I started, you know, that's when I really went hard into like PlayStation and started gaming and stuff. I was a Sega kid because Sega was always cheaper. So I always had the cheaper one, and I knew that all my friends always had Nintendo. So I knew I could always play Nintendo at my friend's house. And then I had all the exclusive like Earthworm Jim and, you know, all the games that only came out on Sega, you know, so.
The Mortal Kombat with the blood.
Yeah, with the blood. Yeah. Yeah. See all that stuff. So, and that was back in the Blockbuster days. So that was the rent and video game days where you didn't buy a game. You went to Blockbuster and rented it for a week. And just played the shit out of it as much as you could.
Speaking of Blockbuster and tying all this stuff together real quick, though, did you see what Blockbuster tweeted out and said, "Hey, Reddit"?
Oh. Hey, what's going on with this My Pillow dude, too? What the fuck?
I don't know.
You didn't hear about that?
Mm-hmm.
No,
apparently.
Friend of Trump's or something?
Yeah, apparently, like, it was all funded by Trump or something. I don't know, and it's all like a scam, and his pillows are actually not good. They're garbage, and everyone like I hear My Pillow ads on the radio and shit. Like that shit got huge. That guy became like so fucking rich over nothing, and he was like a heroin addict or something. I'm
not even sure what it is.
Wow.
I don't remember hearing ads for it.
Oh yeah, it was all over podcasts and like on talk radio, like the talk radio station up here. It was all over it, and now apparently the guy's like a piece of garbage or something like that. And I don't know. I don't know too much about it. I thought you guys might have known more.
Yeah, I don't.
No, I only knew he was like. I only learned towards the end of Trump's presidency that he was a friend and he was seen leaving from the White House. And since I don't watch the news, like literally, that's all I saw on the My Pillow guy.
Yeah.
That was it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, are we done?
We're done. Yeah. We're done. Darren Hilton also wants us to play.
Well, then we're not done.
Night Owl broke for free at the end of the show. So you will hear that at the end of the show.
Oh,
Darren.
okay. Night Owl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
a great
You know
track.
what, Gunny, and no offense to Nipron and who else makes me? Mechmod, right?
Mechmod and Ricky Alvarez.
Oh, okay, sorry. And,
Nipron is a streamer.
They're great. They're great songs and whatnot. But I still like the original mix, man. That mix that I got for the opening and then Night Owl for the close, man. That's still that to me. That's Horrible Gamers. That's Horrible Gamers. You know what I mean? And that's totally a me thing. And it probably has a little bit of bias in there because I was the person that went out and got that song for us. But
and weren't we doing a podcast with them?
Who?
Me and you and Iams. We were there. I was there with well, I'm sorry, maybe you weren't there. I was in I did a podcast with Iams and they were guests on his show.
Who?
Broke for free.
Oh, no. I was talking about the Fowler Twistix.
Okay, maybe it was them. I can't
No.
remember. Yeah.
The Fowler and Twist. No, well, Fowler is one of my music producer buddies, friends that does like all these dubstep things. And when we were originally getting the podcast back together, I reached out to him to see if he could do something for us. And he was like, yeah, sure. He's like, what do you want? And I told him I wanted like 8-bit dubstep or like 16-bit dubstep. And he's like, all right. He's like, I'll see what I can do. I'll get back to you. But he's like, here's my SoundCloud. Go through my stuff. And if you hear anything that you like, let me know. And I was like, I started going through his stuff and he was writing something. He was doing something like with the 8-bit dubstep thing that I wanted him to put together. And I found the track that we used. And I was like, dude, can you just like during this really like long intro bit, can you just put the Horrible Gamers like in a robotic voice over top of it? And he was like, that's all you want? He's like, I was like, yeah, just throw it together and send it back to me and we'll see what it's like.
Nice.
And he threw it back to me and there was something wrong with it. Something I didn't like about it. And I threw it back to him and he threw it back to me and I was like, yeah, it is perfect. It's fucking perfect.
Yeah, I love that intro.
Ever since, I really like that a lot.
Me too.
But,
it is one of my
like I
all-time
said,
favorites.
no offense to the other songs. Like I don't hate them or anything. I prefer that. To me, that's Horrible Gamers. When I hear that at the beginning, I'm like, yeah, fucking Horrible Gamers. Goddamn right. You know what I mean?
HGP.
But to each their own again, right?
Yeah, maybe we can reach out to Ricky and MechMod again too, and maybe they can even do something like that themselves, and we can get some more unique options.
That's cool. Yeah, that'd be cool. Or even like I'd like to even go back to Fowler and see if he could remix it again and do something different with it. You know what I mean? Like I would love to do that too, but I don't even know. I could probably get a hold of him again, but yeah.
Good stuff. Good times, guys. Good music. Where do we find you, Ryan? Where do we find you gaming?
You guys can find me on everything as Gib8777.
7777.
That guy's going to get more friend requests. That guy with the extra sevens.
Mayo, the Mayo 01, the Mayo of 5. Where do we find you?
Oh yeah, you can just pretty much find me on Discord, Gunny. You know where I'm at. But the Mayo. My Xbox account, I'm the Mayo 1, I think. And my kids might be playing on that account, so I don't message back right away. That might be because it's one of them, but
I see you're always online, like playing like Sea of Thieves or oh God, I can't think of what I was
Rocket League.
Playing.
My daughter plays a lot of Rocket League. So what happens is I have 2 Xboxes, and I have one here and I have one at their mom's place. And so they play it there, and it's under my account, so it's showing up as me playing. But yeah, you can find me.
Set up their own accounts.
Yeah, I should, but
Tell them now. Like, well, we don't know. There is no date for Xbox to go for when they're saying their free to play games will be free. So until
they are now. That was as of the announcement. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know it was like on that day. So, Mayo, get them their own damn accounts. They can play their Rocket League free and their Fortnite's free under their own gamer tags. Right? No more paying monthly BS for them. No, I guess if you're paying once, it's fine. It's fine. You can get 2 Xboxes going.
But yeah, like I said, find me on Twitter as the Mayo. You gotta find me, like I said. Check us out on Discord. Find me on Facebook as Mayo. So I'm pretty much there. I'm around. Just look, click on them show notes. We have our Discord link in there. We have a Facebook link in there. So click on those links and you'll find me. I'm involved in both those communities. So,
and if you can't find us, send us a message through the Facebook page or however else through Twitter,
Live, whatever.
There you go. We'll send you that information. But in the meantime, go to Xbox Live. I'm on there. Gamertag Gunny Chief. On the Steam machine, Gunny Chief. And Epic Store, where else?
Ubisoft, you play, whatever the hell they're calling it now. I don't even know.
Except for PS4. What's your PS4 handle, Gunny?
HGP_Gunny.
All right. What does Gidget say?
Peace out, Brussels sprouts.
We'll see you on the next episode of the Horrible Gamers Podcast. We out.